you control. And 603-283-6160 is the phone number. So if you tried to call yesterday and I had told you, sorry, we can't answer the phone tonight because it was all messed up, well, definitely call back tonight. 603-283-6160. And yes, we are actually live. Well,
there's a ghost saboteur in the studio.
Oh, yeah. Whenever people always say that there's like gremlins in technology, they're totally right.
It's true. There's always gremlins in the technology.
I wouldn't even be surprised if it legitimately is a supernatural thing, you know, like, oh, well, God didn't want us to create this technology, and so it's going to keep messing up all the time.
You're a big fan of Michael Fiend, right, Riley?
Yes, I am, actually.
Who's that? Oh, from the Freedom Fiend.
Yes.
Fred and Freedom Fiend? So
I never listened.
You missed out. It was good for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Definitely good radio for a little while. I missed the show. I missed them saying worms.
I follow Michael W. Dino on Twitter, and he's funny.
Yeah. One of his quotes was, computers are a mix of technology and voodoo. And that's probably the most profound thing I've ever recalled him saying. Like
multiple times something has gone wrong with this studio where Ian has no idea how, like once we figure out what happened, Ian has no idea how it got that way. And I didn't just go in there and change a freaking setting.
Right.
Like there's just like no reason that it should have done that. Multiple times. So I seriously, like I used to kind of like hear like Captain say that, like, oh, you know, it's gremlins in the machines. Like sometimes it just does something for no reason and no one can understand. And I thought, oh, there's probably a reason, but people just make that joke, but it's not a joke.
No, there's another weird one because I listen to like a lot of technology podcasts and I have no way to verify this, but apparently sun flares, like the little bursts that come off the sun, can flip a bit in the computer. Like, you know, like the zeros and ones. Just somehow sun flare hits the earth and flips a bit and your PC just screwed from there.
Well, the thing that started us having problems with our technology here at Free Talk Live like 2 weeks ago, where you were here and Kahuna was here to do the show, was a power surge.
Yep.
So I mean, that's like more direct, I guess, but I still believe it that the sun could do the same, like a similar thing. Well, with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie,
Riley,
and Richie Rich.
And we have lots of stuff to talk about because the economy is just failing all around us.
It's in the poopa.
And it always has been getting worse and worse.
I thought Trump was going to save the economy and bring jobs back to America and make America great again.
He's saving it for rich people.
I think all of them, all they can really do is literally kick the can down the road. Like he's going to try to lower interest rates, right? Lower, right?
That's not his purview. It's not.
It's not his purview at all. But
he just calls for it, and like they're supposed to listen.
He like fired someone, and now he's trying to like threaten them all. You know.
The Federal Reserve did lower interest rates this week, though.
Yeah.
By 0.25 points or whatever.
Well, because
Trump demanded it.
No, it's just they were choosing this time. I think they're going to lower the rates again in a month or two.
Okay. I think
I missed that.
The most egregious violation in recent weeks was like the Hyundai factory getting raided by ICE. Did you see that?
Yes.
No, I didn't see that. Okay. The one in Georgia people keep talking about?
So Trump was like, we're bringing jobs to America. We're making the foreigners open up factories here. So Hyundai like had the factory and they brought South Korean workers over to operate the factory, and then they got raided by ICE. And then they're like, South Korean workers like, nah, we'll just go back to South Korea. You guys can have this empty factory for now until Trump figures it out. So, like, what are you doing, man? You trying to get rid of immigrants? Or you trying to, like, bring jobs and factories here?
I guess I did hear that, basically, but I thought it was, like, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
And one thing I heard about ICE that we have a story about here tonight is that California is saying no more masked ICE agents in their state. So I wonder if Trump will listen or if he's just going to do like he did earlier this year and just be like, nope, we're going to do whatever we want, because he seems to think that the feds have whatever power they want over the states. That seems like that's what Trump thinks.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that California, like I'm not a big fan of California, but it's good that they're sizable enough to be able to push back against the feds. Right?
Yep.
Like they don't, when they first legalized weed, they didn't really push back against the feds, right? They could have, when the feds were raiding legal dispensaries in California, and California was like, I don't know what you want us to do. It's the feds doing it. You know, it was like, well, arrest the feds, right? The federal DEA enforcers are breaking California law, like arrest them, you know, and California didn't push back then. So
has a state ever arrested feds in their state?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's, again, if the Fed comes in and breaks a state law, like you arrest them on state grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the state jurisdiction to do so.
I just feel like all the states are probably like way too scaredy cat to do that. Like,
Yes.
There's always talk in New Hampshire of this bill, and it actually is going in before, but never passed or anything, and definitely wouldn't get past the governor, even if it did somehow get past the Senate. But it's like, oh, we're going to make it to where enforcing any gun-related federal charge is not allowed in New Hampshire, so that way if feds come in to do it, we arrest them.
Yeah.
Can't
Same-
remember exactly how it's put.
You know, it likely won't pass. But again, you've got the governor of California, starting the preliminaries of making a run for president because he's tweeting like Donald Trump does, and it's hilarious. If you're not following Gavin Newsom on Twitter or the X.
Is he just doing it for a joke? Because
Yes.
at first I thought he was doing it to try to be like, I'm just as cool. Like, I can do the same thing and it'll get me followers. I'm cool. And that would be lame. But if he's doing it
No.
to troll them, that's pretty funny.
He's absolutely trolling, and people don't get it.
Okay, I did not get it. I was like, this is cringe and weird.
Yeah, no. He's absolutely trolling to illustrate the ridiculousness of Trump's tweets and positions. Right? So when they attack Gavin Newsom for it, he's like, yeah, like totally. Like, you're almost there. You almost see how ridiculous this is because I'm doing the same thing Trump does, and you praise him for it, right? So he's positioning himself for a run for president. AOC is apparently positioning herself for a run for president.
Oh, wow.
That'll be interesting.
Do you have to be 45? Is that it?
35.
35. Okay, yeah.
How old is she? Do you know?
I'm sure she's 35 at least, but
Okay, by now? Will be by the time the election rolls around?
I honestly am. She's 35 exactly.
There you
That's
go.
surprising, actually.
Yeah, she's old enough to run for
she's
president
old.
now, at least.
I guess it's just like the soul-sucking nature of being a politician like that. Like, I genuinely thought she was probably
Older?
like 40. Yeah.
Oh, wow, no.
But it's not like I'm like, oh, she's hideous and old or something like
Yeah.
that. I just thought, like, who even gets into something like that under 35? It sounds so horrible. So I guess that's
someone who's positioned to do so.
Yeah, I guess that's like her whole thing. Like, she was like a younger person, but
Yeah.
in my mind, it's like, oh, she's younger in the government. She's got to be like, 40. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I see it now that she's 35. Zoran Mamdani, the guy running for, mayor of New York City.
Yep.
He's 33.
Okay.
That's pretty young.
That is really young. That's a good young age to be in politics, for sure.
I didn't know that until
They
I
were
just know it
groomed.
popped up.
They were likely groomed early.
And Bernie Sanders, guess
He's
how young
old.
he is? He's 84.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's just the next one that pops up there.
He's got no chance. If he runs again, he's got no chance.
I saw that she's 35 and turns 36 on October 13th, AOC. So I wanted to pull up the calendar to see if her birthday is Friday the 13th this year, but no, it's a Monday the 13th.
Oh,
It'll happen eventually.
oh yeah.
Her birthday's only 2 days before Charlie Kirk. Wait, the day before Charlie Kirk's birthday. His
Okay.
was the 14th.
All right.
I don't know what year. But
All right.
Oh wait, 1991.
Okay.
Which Charlie Kirk and George Floyd had the same birthday, different years. That's weird, isn't it?
Conspiracy
That is
theories
weird,
abound.
yeah.
And I knew that without Googling it, like the day that the shooting happened, and I tweeted, like, how freaking weird is that? That's like a conspiracy right there. Because it's my sister's birthday, and she had told me only a few weeks ago. She was like, isn't it, or we were talking about, like, what celebrity birthdays each other has. I was like, I don't have any that are good. And she was like, I have George Floyd and Charlie Kirk. And I was like, wait, who's Charlie Kirk again? And she was like, he's the guy whose face is like way too small for his head. And I was like, oh, that one. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And then like 2 weeks later, he gets killed.
Yep.
And then all
Yes.
that came back to me. And I was like, wait, he has the same birthday as George Floyd. And they're trying to paint him as like the right's George Floyd.
Yeah.
Kind of
no.
suspicious. In
Oh.
a way, in my opinion.
Yeah. Again, humans are pattern-seeking beings, so it's convenient and coincidental.
Yeah.
Eh.
It
I
doesn't
don't think it means anything.
Right. It
in the
doesn't, like,
esoteric.
necessarily mean anything. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm always thinking about people's birthdays for whatever reason.
All
They
right.
just like stick in my head to me.
I don't think I've ever looked up a celebrity birthday
Really?
that shares one with. Yeah, no, never.
One time I had a dream, and this had to be like 2014 or 2013. I had a dream that I was like, what's Kanye West's birthday? I looked it up, and I was like, June 8th. That's interesting. That's almost my birthday. And then I woke up and I was like, oh man, I dreamed that. I thought Kanye West was probably like a Gemini and close to my birthday. It's probably nothing like that. Let me look it up. And it was June 8th. And I swear on everything, I had never looked it up before, never thought to look it up before. So that was like the weirdest.
Okay.
That's the only, I guess I have had more than one premonition dream.
Yeah.
Like, I've only had 2 then in that instance. But I told my mom that, and all she said was like, you need to quit thinking about those Kardashians and stuff. I was like, no, this is deeper than that. This is weird in a different way.
Yeah, that's more fun. Tapping into the eternal universe of information.
Oh yeah, so much fun.
Such a random, dumb thing, though. It's like, oh, if I could get any information from the universe, like Kanye West's birthday, I could have Googled that when I woke up.
All the good you could have done for
You could have
humanity.
been tapping into how do I develop a way to make poor people rich. Instead, you're
Work.
tapping
Get
into
a job. Get a job.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Be
yeah.
productive.
If I was doing it willingly, I guess I would try to do something else, but it just felt like a regular day, and I was looking up a celebrity's birthday, because I do that all the
Bonnie
time.
meditated for 2 hours every day for 10 years. Now she can predict celebrity birthdays before
Oh
looking them up on Wikipedia.
Oh my god. With 83% accuracy. So dumb.
This is your superpower.
Well, at the beginning of the show, we were talking about different things that are showing that the economy is not doing very well. And one thing I learned from Ian recently, which I think is a sign that the economy is not doing well, he said that there's this younger guy that's kind of like cool and gangsta at his prison. I always almost say that goes to his prison like they're in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy goes to his prison.
That's funny.
He got held back.
Ian got held
fighting.
back. That's why he's still in prison. No, but so Ian met this guy who's kind of like hip and cool and younger, and he only mentioned that to tell me that the guy has braces, just like regular braces, like to correct your teeth to get them straighter.
Okay.
And the guy said that actually in recent times and like right now, girls think it's like hot and cool when a guy has braces right now. And I was like, what? Like, I haven't tried to Google anything to see if it's
Because
like,
it's a money flex?
yeah, like a money flex.
Okay.
And I was like, that has to be a bad sign for the economy, because it's like 2010, that would be like, oh, my teeth are already straight, but I have a grill that's made of gold with diamonds all over it. Not,
Yeah.
I can afford to straighten my teeth like my parents should have done when I was a teenager. You know what I mean?
I had braces in my mid-20s. And that was like $5,000
Yeah.
to get it all done. So,
Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting it as a teenager. I mean, older than a teenager. I'm not saying that it's cheap. I'm just saying that that's kind of like a bad sign, right?
okay.
Because it's like, I don't know. If we were
Damn,
doing,
girl, let me see those teeth.
yeah, like
You got them train treks?
if we were doing like really
Buy me a
well,
PS5.
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Is it a turn on for a girl to have braces to a guy right now? Is any of that
Always
even true?
has been.
Or was that guy
Where's
just like
Turd?
telling Ian that for some reason? I don't know why he would. But yeah, actually Turd is on the line.
See?
There we
have
go.
Turd Ferguson in Pennsylvania on the line. Turd, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind? How did you guess that?
Because braces is probably something that turns Turd on.
Oh my god.
Well, I was going to say, braces, I don't know much about that way around, but I definitely like girls with braces.
Told
that's
you.
for sure.
That's such
Nailed
a good
it.
point. Yeah, you're right. You made his joke before him. So want Turd. Got anything else for us?
Super smexy. Yeah, I sold a $14,000 shower earlier. Pretty good. I made about $2,000 in commission, one step forward to paying off my house and moving out to Hollywood. I should be there actually by this time next year if things keep going the way they are.
What are you gonna miss Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania, and your townhouse and everything?
Of course, Shrewsbury kicks ass, but look, this is my plan, okay? Because I will have the studio, and you know, I plan to start at Sony or UMG or wherever I'm starting in A&R, okay? And so my plan is like maybe I can convince as I move up the ladder, like I'll be like, hey, Mr. Sony executive, because of course it's going to be a guy, not a girl, because Sony executives they have sex with girls, they aren't girls themselves, you know what I mean? So I'm like, hey,
Wow.
Mr. Sony executive, let me go back to my Shrewsbury townhouse and let me record some music out there for you, and then I'll just take the producer credits and you can have it. You can have the rest of it, dude. They can pay me some residuals and all that stuff. But then eventually, once I've got a few good albums in the can from that, maybe I can just sell the studio and the townhouse to Sony Music and be like, hey, it's yours, and you can give me like $2 million, $3 million. You can take all the equipment with it, and then I'll be able to just retire, and then I can go back to drinking every day.
Why would they want a record studio in Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's like they don't have one in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, people can travel to Los Angeles, I guess, but I mean, if they have a hub, a studio out on the East Coast, right, 30 miles from Baltimore,
but not in Baltimore. More
60 miles.
You get robbed if it was in Baltimore.
60 miles east of Philadelphia.
But not in Philadelphia.
South. Huh?
Same thing as Baltimore.
It's just like not in Philadelphia, not in Baltimore. So like it's not really that. It's like, oh, I live only an hour from, I don't know. I just feel like it's not a real good selling point right there. And by the way, I looked it up. Sony executive team, and there's like 5 women, kind of older ladies.
Yeah.
They're girls.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Turds gonna have to put
They
out.
could be like, look how inclusive we are. We're so inclusive. We're so forward thinking. You think those women do anything? Of course they don't.
I feel like this Asian lady probably is smart enough to do something.
Is there like a big music scene in that area that you're trying to tap into by having a remote studio?
You don't in Baltimore and Philadelphia and yeah, of course there is.
A what?
Music scene.
Oh, okay. I'd be sure that there'd be a music scene, but are they the people that like Turd is talking about, like #1 pop stars, or are they like freaking garage bands?
Well, East Coast versus West Coast rap was like New York versus California, not Oregon and Washington. Right?
Yeah.
in Baltimore and
West
Philly,
Virginia versus Nevada.
Right. Yeah, well, that was not a thing.
Look, I'll be straight up with you. In Baltimore and in Philly, there's a ton of great rap and a ton of great rock and roll.
Okay.
And the cherry on top will be the hot teen pop stars I will sign.
Okay.
Good luck, man.
Yeah,
So my question
Thanks.
for you, Turd, is how do you know they don't have music studios already in Philly and these areas?
Well, they might, but I mean, here's
Good
one
point.
more. And by the way, my studio is powered by Black Lion. That's not, I mean, there are some of the big music producers that can say that. Not a lot of them. You know what I mean? Mine's Black Lion, and they're going to love that. I'll tell you that right now. At least
What's
the
that?
execs that actually know what they're talking about.
What is that?
Black Lion Audio, one of the great pro audio companies really in the world now. I mean, they've been modding interfaces and microphones and all that stuff for a really long time. Their company's right in Chicago, and they make great stuff, man. I mean, their stuff
Nice.
sounds really, really good. It's pristine. It's so crisp. I mean, they make good stuff.
If you've already got the studio set up in that fashion, what's stopping you from just reaching out to Sony now and saying, hey, I've got this hub in Shrewsbury, PA. Like,
Well, look, I've tried that. They don't know me at Sony yet. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you got to go there to work to get the in to then circle back.
Well, what I have to do is I'm gonna have to make the connects first, and I'm probably gonna have to start an A&R,
Okay.
which is fine. I don't mind doing that, and I mean, on the bright side, I won't have to stay in LA all the time. Be able to travel a lot. I'll be able to meet a lot of really hot young girls. That's gonna be fun.
Aren't there probably like thousands of people?
Maybe some of them will even have braces, dude.
Aren't there probably like thousands of men working in A&R trying to
Do the
climb
same
their way
thing.
up and,
How many of them have a Black Line studio back home in Shrewsbury, though?
0. I'm the only
See?
one, and I think the A&R team and all of Sony subsidiaries combined is probably only like 40 or 50 people right now. And that's all their record labels. Same thing with UMG. They it's only in the double digits right now. So, yeah.
Well, is that all you got for us, Turd? Your wild career
Yeah, I guess
dreams?
so.
Thank you for the call, Turd. And 603-283-6160 is the phone number.
I wish him all the best. It sounds like he's got a really fun dream planned out. I wish him all the best.
I feel like you should be not talking about it. You should just be going and doing it. Otherwise, you're
Well,
gonna...
sometimes you can speak things into the universe, right?
Sure.
Sometimes telling someone about it, especially on, national radio, holds you to some level of accountability. right? Because if he calls back with, "Hey, how's that dream come along, turd?" and he's got to like answer up, right? Like, are you working
Exactly.
towards it or not?
Maybe that's how he works. Like, I feel like in his world that here's some things that in how they worked out, like, oh, there's this chick that I'm totally better than her boyfriend. I'm going to totally get with her. She goes to my gym. And then we're just like, oh, do it, turd. Go talk to her. And then he's like, never mind. You guys like
Yeah.
made me like too self-conscious. I don't know what he said. I can't remember what he said.
You can shift the responsibility and, not work towards it. That's also an option.
And then there's
also a level of embarrassment when you have to come clean and say, like, I didn't do anything towards that.
Yeah, and then there's David from New Mexico saying he was going to move to New Hampshire. And when I said, like, oh, it's been, like, the summer's over now. So, well, today's the last day of summer and tomorrow is the first day of fall. And he said he was waiting for last winter to end and he didn't move up here. And then he just, like, makes up this brand new idea or brand new thing that he hadn't told us before that, oh, well, his business had to start up before he moved here, shifting goal posts, stuff like that.
It's one thing to tell people, like, just move, right? But it's not, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? Like, for everyone that's made the move here to New Hampshire for the Free State Project or any other reason, right? There's a lot that goes into that.
Yep, it felt absolutely impossible when I first ever thought about it. And then when I had, like, come up here and met people and met Ian and I had to go back and like tie up some loose ends, I felt like that was going to take many, many, many months. I was like, oh my God, I don't even know if I'll ever make it back.
I felt the same way when I first came to visit in 2018. Like, I felt like, okay, this is a dream I want to have eventually. And I felt like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. 5 years later, 2023, I moved to New Hampshire and here I've been ever since.
Right. But
so
it takes some time.
It can't work out. It does take time. It does take work to get here.
And a lot of times it feels like I was kind of describing, it's like, oh, you can't see it working out. And that does get you messed up and everything. But
oh, yeah.
Yep. That's the thing. It's just like, I feel like if you're working on something, it's best to just not tell people about it. And it's not because it's like, oh, it's embarrassing. It's just like, I think you get it, in my opinion, maybe it's just my personality. Like, you can get it done better if you just get it done and not hype yourself up and stress yourself out like, oh, I'm not getting it done in time. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Never grocery shop when you're hungry. I'm Holland Cook with Inflation Hacks. Money Talks News urges against serving size portions. They're convenient, but you're paying for packaging and the labor to assemble it, as you will see by comparing unit price with bigger sizes that you can baggy up yourself. And demote meat from its starring role to the supporting cast in tasty casseroles and soups and stews. Regardless of how carefully you shop, you're racing the clock because food expires. Slightly stale bread makes great French toast, or you can use it for breadcrumbs. And you can freeze breads, bagels, and muffins. Let them thaw overnight and they're good as new. Turn overripe bananas into banana bread, or freeze them and then mash them up in the food processor for a yummy and healthy dessert. How are you coping? Post your inflation hacks at andyoucanquoteme.com.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. The UK is expected to imminently announce the recognition of the state of Palestine. The move is set to provoke harsh criticism from Israel. On Thursday, during his state visit, the US president said the recognition of Palestinian statehood was one of the few areas where he and the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer disagreed. Ollie Barrett reports from London.
The UK government is preparing to recognise the Palestinian state ahead of a United Nations conference on Monday, at which it will make a formal declaration on the issue. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's administration said in July it would move towards recognition if Israel didn't meet a series of conditions such as a ceasefire, resumption of humanitarian aid in Gaza, and no further annexation in the West Bank. Critics in the UK say the decision breaches international norms, that a state should be recognised only if it has a functioning government, defined borders and a stable population. The US also opposes the move, with President Trump saying it will reward Hamas. Keir Starmer says Hamas is a terrorist organisation, must be disarmed and can play no part in any future Palestinian government. Ollie Barrett, London.
The European Commission is expected to unveil its latest round of sanctions targeting Russia on Friday. The EU is considering restrictions on several firms in India and China for handling Russian oil and is also aiming to use frozen Russian central bank assets to support Ukraine. Here's William Denslow in Brussels.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said this 19th sanctions package would target Russia's shadow fleet, banks and crypto sector. Von der Leyen has also said the bloc will seek to explore how to phase out the use of Russian fossil fuels faster. That's a key call from US President Trump, who's also asking Ukraine's allies to impose tariffs on China and India in a bid to pressure them into tightening the screw on Moscow. The EU's new sanctions measure could reportedly sanction firms in India and China that assist with Russia's oil trade. William Denslow, Brussels.
An Eritrean man has been flown to France from the United Kingdom under the joint Paris-London deal to return illegal immigrants known as One In, One Out. A last-minute British court bid to delay the departure failed. On Thursday, an Indian national became the first person to be sent to France in a case that did not involve a legal challenge. Earlier this year, the two countries agreed to the deal intended to deter people from turning to smugglers to cross the English Channel. The accord sees France take in people who cross the Channel to the UK illegally. Britain agreed to allow people to stay if they satisfy legal and security protocols and have not previously tried to cross to British shores in small boats. Hours after the first removal under the agreement, President Trump urged the British Prime Minister to involve the military in dealing with immigration issues. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.
Welcome back to Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160 is the phone number to call. 603-283-6160 to bring up whatever's on your mind. And I'd like to thank Colby for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Colby went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Colby and everyone who supports us. Again, and that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. And we really do appreciate everyone who's done that and became an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. Thank you so much to our amplifiers and Colby. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
And in the last segment, we started talking about this sign that I think everybody will recognize when I say what it is. That
Stop. Oh.
Wait, what?
The stop sign?
Oh, I just meant like a sign of the economy doing bad.
Is it Vegas?
No, that was, we did have that, a story about that. Maybe we never got into it, but somebody had brought in a sign that the economy is doing bad, and it was that Las Vegas is losing all its tippers.
Well,
I felt like it was
I think fewer visitors are going to Las Vegas from what I hear, so maybe an economic sign? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that particular Wall Street Journal article put tippers as like a innuendo, like for strippers. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but
Interesting.
They said, like Las Vegas tippers are going down, or Las Vegas tippers leaving Las Vegas, or something like that. And I felt like it was like supposed to be funny.
Okay.
For strippers, because if you think about it, like there's strippers and there are tippers that go along with that.
Yes, there are.
But this is even more iconic in my opinion. Hamburger helper sales rise as Americans try to stretch their food dollars.
Yep.
Yep, that makes sense.
I ate
It's
so much
cheap and
hamburger
easy to
helper
make,
as a
man.
kid. Yep. It's cheap and easy to make, and it doesn't taste horrible. I remember I really didn't like it as a kid. But
Okay. Oh, no, I love it.
I don't think it's disgusting now. It's like, I basically, when Ian wasn't in jail, I would make something like hamburger helper at least once a week, but it was like from, real foods.
Yes.
and
From scratch?
Yeah, not like a thing, but it ended up pretty similar, but just better in my opinion. I just feel like it's like an insane amount of like extremely flavored seasoning in that packet.
Okay.
And
I mean, to be fair, you got like the lasagna hamburger helper, and you could also just make lasagna, right? Or stroganoff. You can make that from scratch, but hamburger helper makes it so much quick and easy.
yeah, it's quick and everything.
Yeah. Add water and milk, then stir.
Like making mac and cheese, basically.
Yes.
But you buy a
It's adult mac and cheese
Yep.
with meat, with hamburger.
Yeah,
you
my
buy
mom taught me how to
hamburger.
make hamburger helper at some point in my life.
Yeah.
It's super easy, but it's also just like so easy to make noodles like normal, make your own whatever meat. And I love ground beef as far as like like a lot of meats go.
What do you mean make noodles like normal though? Do you buy the boxed pasta then, or are you like making your own pasta?
Oh no, I've never made my own pasta.
Okay, all
like
right.
I think that would be nice and fun. I just never have. I don't know why, but you can buy plenty of pastas that have only like the one ingredient,
Pasta.
durum semolina or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And it's not poisonous for you, especially if you get one like actually made in Italy, because they aren't spraying it with Roundup. And anyways, I'm just saying you can make this yourself and make it taste better in my opinion, but whatever. As a kid, I ate lots of hamburger helper. Lots of people did, and it's known as a thing that like poor people eat. Like you don't have to be
'cause
poor
it's
to eat
like,
it.
It's like $2 or $3 a box.
Yep. And
So-
it just makes a whole meal very simple and
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
The expensive part of hamburger helper is the hamburger.
Right, and actually that's like what I thought of. I was like, isn't that price probably really climbing?
Yes.
And the caption here says, hamburger helper sales rise as Americans try to stretch their food dollars. And the subtitle I meant to say says, the price of beef and other grocery items are climbing.
Yep.
And consumers are turning to canned meats and a 1970s staple. So I think they're making hamburger helper, but with like Spam. That's my guess. I haven't read the
Okay.
article.
Interesting.
This is actually from the New York Times. I just put it into archive.ph.
Reputable news source.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna say like I'm from Hawaii. Spam is delicious. Nothing wrong with Spam.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I did not ever try it as a kid. I would have been like really
Okay.
grossed out, scared to try it. But I tried it recently and it's not bad.
But I've never put it in hamburger helper.
Yeah.
I'll go that far.
Speaking of Spam, when I was a kid, my family, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so one of the things we ate for dinner at one point was Spam and cream corn. It
There
was
you go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, were they mixed together? Or just,
I don't-
was that the side?
I think they were just separate. I just remember those were the two things I ate as a kid: Spam and cream corn.
My mom made cream corn and, what do they call it? Succotash when it has lima beans in it. Why does that need its own name? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's like there's cream corn, and then if you get it with lima beans in it, then it's succotash.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it fundamentally changes. So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like most cans just would say like corn and lima bean, but for
Okay.
whatever reason, corn and lima bean gets its own name, but corn and carrots is corn and carrots.
all right.
But I don't know why that's called succotash. Anyways,
But Spam was a cheap meat growing up when I was a kid, but now it's really expensive.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it get expensive, but
More expensive. I've heard it's more expensive than it was when I was a kid.
did you guys have to eat, or not have to, but did you guys ever eat Vienna sausages?
We
Yes.
did.
Yeah,
My
me
dad
too.
loves Vienna sausages.
I actually liked them as a kid, even though I didn't like meat, because it doesn't have like
Oh.
veins and bones in it. You
I've
know?
got I've got
Yeah.
a box of Vienna sausage in storage that I just need to go pick up so I can cook it.
Oh, you cook them? I would just eat them from the can.
Well, I'm like, sure, you can microwave it, or I just throw it in a pan,
Oh,
right,
wow.
and like sear it a little bit, heat it up.
Well, we
I
did
don't
have
want to eat it cold.
I would eat it cold, I guess.
Okay.
Thinking back, I never even thought about eating it warm, but it's probably better.
I would think so.
I think so too.
So we have a caller on the line. I think it's Skeeter. Skeeter, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
You know how Richie Rich knew that turd like braces? He was projecting.
He was right. He
I
was
don't.
predicting.
I'm pretty sure I said yes and asked turd.
Hey, Rich, what's the optimal age of consent?
I don't know, puberty.
Wait. Yeah, you just changed your answer. I thought you said -9 months. I think you said conception last time.
What?
Oh, okay.
Probably just to mess with you because you're so obsessed with this topic.
He's principled, though. He wouldn't lie.
Yeah, no. Okay. So let me go back then.
Your laugh is
Sure, go
ridiculous.
ahead, explain yourself.
Okay, so I'm of the position that there ought not be an age of consent, because I believe that newborn babies can consent, and they may not be able to verbalize the word no. But again, the example I always use: if you ever held a baby that did not want to be held by you, right, where they push away and they scream and they cry, right, that baby is expressing negative consent and does not want to be held by you, and you promptly hand it back to someone who it wants to be held by. Right? They don't have to say no. Their body language expresses that they're telling you no, don't hold me. So there's that. That doesn't mean I think that you ought to be having sex with babies. So if we're talking about the age
But it's
of
okay,
consent,
right? It shouldn't be illegal, right? No one should stop them, right?
well, the baby, if the baby's like
if a
crying and
three-year-old
screaming and
has sex with
forcibly
a baby.
pushing away, right? Then
But they
you've
can't
got.
stop them. I think
Well,
that's,
yeah,
I think
the
that's
babies
what the
can't-
problem comes in. It's like the baby can't stop them.
Yeah, it's like neither can a
You know what my
6-year-old or a
fetish is?
12-year-old, right? Like they're going to be overpowered by a dude any day of the week, no matter how much jujitsu they take at their local like martial arts studio.
Yeah, I think that's where the problem
So,
lies,
Right.
where it's like,
But I think biologically,
8-year-old
once you hit puberty and you're able to like conceive a baby, right? Like that's, you're old enough to make those decisions for yourself.
So an
I
8-year-old can shoot an Uzi at a shooting range.
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
well,
not?
that's
Cool
a
with you.
way easier answer. Of like, why not? As long as their parents have taught them and they are
Like-
physically able to. Like, I feel like I don't really know
Like
what an
when the-
Uzi is. Is it
Like
something
when
of?
the 8-year-old girl killed the instructor? Yeah,
That's a bad instructor.
something you'd.
That's a dumb instructor.
Yeah,
That's an instructor who like didn't take it seriously.
Yeah, but what about the
Probably
parents?
put a
I
full
mean-
magazine in there and handed it to the kid to make fun
But you just
video
gave
for
an
TikTok.
Okay. You just gave an okay. You just gave a universal okay for 8-year-olds to shoot automatic guns. At
Yes.
shooting,
You know, in the
anywhere.
days of the Old West,
Anywhere that's
Skeeter,
private property.
people were shooting guns with like 6.
What would prohibit an 8-year-old from shooting an automatic weapon?
responsible people.
Okay, so there's your stop block right there, right? Can they do it? Yes. Should they allowed to do it? Yes. Should responsible people oversee it to make sure it's a safe environment for everybody? Also, yes.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. If you believe in freedom, why should somebody stop? Let's say. What do you mean oversee? Do you mean, does that include prevention?
If necessary,
like a parent
yes.
prevents an 8-year-old who can afford to shoot at a gun range where the gun range gives permission to the 8-year-old. What happened? Can a parent step in and intervene, even if, let's say, the
If the 8-year-old is providing their own means, their own firearm, they got their permission slip from the gun range. They've passed the gun range safety check, right, for safe handling and use of a firearm.
what?
And the gun range. What do you mean? What?
I mean, so wait, what you're imposing a restriction of passing some.
I think that
Yeah,
Skeeter is trying to say, like,
there's gun ranges in New Hampshire where if you want to like practice your holster draw, you have to go through their holster draw
but you
exam
can't-
and
you can't
requirement.
Assume that, and then you can't assume that in Ancapistan, right?
I
like,
can't,
let's
but
say
I
it was
can
okay.
assume that there would be safer ranges than others.
well, so Skeeter and I kind of agree on one part here, that we think that it's not wrong for a parent or the responsible person for this child to tell them no. And then the thing is, like, I feel like you and maybe like Lori and other people have argued before. Maybe not Lori. I could be. And the thing is, maybe neither of you have argued this, and I'm going to put it wrong. But I feel like what Skeeter's getting at is he's trying to say, don't you feel that it's like that person has since that person has rights over their body completely as an 8-year-old, no one should be able to tell them no.
If the 8-year-old has provided their own finances in order to purchase their own property,
They could do
the
that.
firearm, they could absolutely do that.
I mean,
and I don't have a problem
Wait, hold
with
on,
it.
wait. Let Richie answer.
The 8-year-old gets a job, right? Spends their hard-earned money on a firearm, and goes to a range that allows them to shoot.
Absolutely.
Like,
You should
what's
be
the
able to do that.
problem?
Yeah, but what if?
in Ancapistan, there's nothing stopping little Tay. From
What about
having
the owner?
her
But
own
you would say
OnlyFans
the
at 8
owner
years
of
old,
the
right?
range should
And
be
she's
allowed
gonna
to
make millions.
tell them no, right?
Yeah, but if they've passed all the qualifiers, right? Like one of the first things that happens
qualifiers?
when you take a gun class, especially if you go to a range,
What if
is they
what if there's no
make you dry
qualifiers,
fire
Rich?
and learn how to dry fire first, and then they give you one bullet, and they watch you point that one bullet downrange and fire one bullet. And if you happen to manage this one bullet, they go like, all right, let's do 3. Let's see how you do when it rechambers around. What?
If there's no regulations, what's stopping a gun range from having no qualifiers? They're just
nothing. There'd just be a dangerous gun range that will probably quickly go out of business.
Yeah, like people
because
will
I'm not going to go to a gun range
Yeah.
that allows 8-year-olds who don't pass a qualifier to stand next to me.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Bonnie,
It's like it will be easily reined in by
It's natural competition.
people with common sense.
By who?
By the
People with
market.
common
That's the thing.
sense.
You can only imagine that there has to be
8-year-olds with
someone.
money who can't shoot at a gun range there will go there.
Skeeter.
So they'll have a niche.
The thing
Yes,
is,
they will. And that's
you-
perfectly fine.
you only can conceptualize somebody forcing these things
After the
on a
gun
company.
ranges,
No
go
one
have
has to, like, if I owned a restaurant, nobody has to force me to tell my employees to wash their hands. Like, no one has to force me that. If I owned a restaurant, I would put that on my employees. There's no one that actually would have to come and, like, say that they're going to shut me down if I don't do it, because I would absolutely do it. And it's not just me. It's like, anybody who wants people to be attracted to their restaurant would force their employees to wash their hands and put up those signs. And that's how it would go with the gun range.
And they make rifles for children.
Assume that a lot of people make shortcuts and cause externality.
No, I'm not saying
right?
that there will
they
never
don't
be-
really care about long run damages, especially if they can't be sued if you don't have a tort system, right?
Listen,
imagine a free.
First of all,
You don't think Ann Capistan would have a tort system?
I was gonna say, I always say that Ann Capistan should and would, and I would like to live in a place with the court system. And the other thing is that Skeeter, it's like, yes, I'm not saying that no bad place like this would exist, but I can almost assure you that they wouldn't do as well as the ones that had up on their wall that we, maintain a level of basic safety for our customers. They wouldn't do as well. They'd go out of business, most likely. And if they didn't go out of business because they're people who just wanted to take those risks, more power to them. Maybe somebody would die because the 8-year-old shot them at the gun range, and maybe that's when they finally close their doors.
And it would make the news, and people would be like, I'm not going to that gun range anymore.
Yeah.
And then quickly lose money.
And you know what my fetish is?
Ew.
Please don't tell us.
No.
Grace's. It's glasses and a dog jacket.
Okay, bye. Oh, wait, I forgot the button. Oh my god, I almost forgot the dump button. Gross. He's calling my jacket a dog jacket because it's like the same color as Coconut's coat. I didn't mean that or know that when I bought it, but
Now you know what to do with Coconut later.
and it's funny because like one time, maybe recently, like I was holding Coconut with this jacket on, and somebody was saying it looked like it's like
Camouflage.
It looked like he's like part of, like I'm wearing a Coconut fur jacket where it still has like the head taxidermied on.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's creepy. But yeah, Skeeter's a creep. I wish, whenever I remember that Skeeter exists, I'm like, maybe we shouldn't stream the video tonight. Weirdo. But so before Skeeter called, and anybody have anything else to say about what he was saying about?
No, not really. I think people in a free market society or in a libertarian society would be responsible.
Genuinely, he's an idiot once again.
And
who can't imagine anything beyond his like tiny little microcosm of conception.
Exactly.
And the thing is, he's
You
always
think
like,
8-year-olds can shoot an Uzi?
Yes.
Maybe. Some of them. How
Yeah.
well are they trained? Who taught them?
and is it like it?
I was shooting BB guns at 8 years old in Boy Scouts, so
Yeah. But the thing is, like, with the Uzi, because I just don't know exactly what that is that something that's like, oh, the recoil will be so intense that
No.
an 8-year-old couldn't do it,
No,
Because then it's like,
It's like a 9mm, but it's automatic.
Oh.
It's that's about it.
yeah.
I don't know how to describe it other than that.
I shot my 9mm handgun for the first time last night, or not last night, but yesterday. And I was like, whoa, okay, that is definitely so much different, as I assumed, than shooting a 22.
Yep.
It wasn't as bad as I thought, but still, I think, well, definitely 8-year-old me would not want to be anywhere near that. But
yeah.
Some 8-year-old probably would.
Maybe.
Jay Noon's 4-year-old son, when he's 8, I'd be shocked if he would turn that down.
Yeah.
Like that opportunity to shoot that.
And if he's smart, he wouldn't give him like a full magazine and put it on automatic and just send him on his way, right?
Yeah.
Like you build up to that.
Mm-hmm. At 2-3 years old, Jay Noon's son drove around like a go-kart all around the property, and you can be like, hey Cash, will you take me to the front? And like you can sit in the second chair, and the 2-year-old was driving you.
There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
Knew
that's
exactly how to
crazy.
do it. Yeah. It's crazy. And,
Again, most Americans don't give children enough credit for what they're capable of.
No.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They artificially
Definitely true.
limit what they can do for no other reason than cultural normality, whereas other cultures, or him, right? If you teach them young enough, they'll get good early on and be proficient later on.
Like one thing Jay is always doing with his kids is telling them like left and right over and over, like, and this one's on the left and this one's on the right. And it's just like, now they have that down. I feel like some people think that's like something you don't teach kids till they're 5+, but instead he was teaching them younger and they just have it down.
There you go.
And the other thing about it, oh man, I was going to say something. Oh yeah, there's this funny like meme that's been going around for like a really long time. It's not new or anything, but the game called Minecraft.
Yes.
There's like this meme that's like, oh, one of the most popular games among people that are like really young is Minecraft, and the joke is that the children yearn for the mines, like they want to go back to work.
Yeah.
It's a funny joke, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's amazing how many like habit work-based games I'm actually into when it comes to video games.
like Animal Crossing type thing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. And prior to that, there was like, before Farmville, there was Harvest Moon. And now, I don't know how the name change happened, but it's basically like Story of Seasons. And I just started a new one of that. And it's like, it's a farming simulator. I got to wake up in the game world and like go plant crops and water crops and take care of farm animals. It's like, oh man.
And Roller Coaster Tycoon was like that.
Yeah, similar. You got to build your roller coaster. You got to manage your roller coaster property.
Yeah, you had to like manage money.
Yeah.
Fake money, but yeah.
Either way.
In Neopets, there was like there's a trading post, but also the thing I was looking for was like a NASDAQ. It's not NASDAQ.
Okay.
Whatever that word is.
Stock market?
Yeah, there's like stock trading in Neopets if you wanted to do it. Like you could also just play stupid games to get money. But yeah, you could like actually pay attention to your money and put it in a Neopets bank and stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of stuff is really fun.
Yeah.
And you could I guess gamify your life.
It's what it is.
Like that.
Second Life was huge for a long time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I never played it or anything.
Is
but
Second Life a huge thing nowadays, or people done things differently with their lives?
I have no idea how big Second Life still is.
Okay.
Yeah,
But for a while, that's what like people went home and did.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I just got off of work. Now I'm going to go home and like manage my video game store.
Did you ever play Second Life?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I never did either.
Yeah, I never played it either. But I mean, I feel like lots of video games are basically that, so it's not that ridiculous. Like Sims. Yep. It's like
I played a bunch of The Sims.
you're managing your little
My
guy's
girlfriend
life.
used to be a big Sims game person.
I never played it. I don't know why. I had a DS. We just never had Sims for whatever reason. We had a Nintendog, so it's like I didn't have a dog, but I had a Nintendog.
I had one of those too.
Oh, really?
I think that I don't remember which one. It might have been the Dachshund one.
And way before Nintendog, there was a PC game. Is that what they were calling it? Yeah, like on a CD-ROM called Cats. And there was also dogs, but I only had cats.
Okay.
And you would like even breed your cats and stuff. Oh my god, that was such a fun, cute game. So fun.
So Nintendog, is that the same thing as like a Gigapet?
I can't remember what Gigapet is right now. Is that like a Tamagotchi?
I don't remember.
So
Are we, like, talking-
Nintendogs, basically, they gave you a puppy, and you had to take care of the puppy virtually.
Okay.
Like feed it and pet it, make sure it wasn't whining or crying, and clean up poop or whatever.
I was right.
Make
and
sure it was loved.
a Gigapet is just like a Tamagotchi.
Okay.
Looks just like it even. I have no idea which one came first, but Tamagotchi was the thing when I was a kid. It came out the year I was born.
Yeah.
It says 90s throwback, so it must have been at the similar time. Maybe Gigapet was a little earlier or something, but
Clipped onto your backpack.
I just remember
Teacher takes it away and it's dead by the end of the day. Like, oh man.
I just remember Gigapets were big
Horrible.
when I was in like 6th or 7th grade.
But what was the one you asked? Oh no, Nintendogs is on a Nintendo DS.
Okay.
And it was like a whole world in there. Like, okay, let's go into this next room and take our dog on a walk. And they looked more realistic than this and everything, but kind of similar idea. Same thing as Neopets. Like you had to feed your Neopets. They never die. They just like get really sad.
iPhone finally has like video game emulation on it, and one of the first games I downloaded was Nintendogs.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
Is
let's see
that-
if this works.
Like you have to have the newest iPhone?
I mean, it's better if you do, but like for the longest time, Apple didn't allow it in the Apple Store.
Mm-hmm.
And then within the last year or so, they allowed it in the Apple Store. So now you can get emulators from the App Store on Apple.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you play like real Mario Kart now?
Define a real Mario Kart.
Because the Mario Kart phone game they have is not as fun. It's
Okay.
like so different.
So yes, up to a point, right? The Super Nintendo one, probably fine. The DS one, probably fine. The Game Boy one, probably fine.
Wow.
I don't know. They're like nothing beyond the Nintendo 64 is viable on the phone. So that's like the cutoff. So Mario Kart 64, you're probably okay with.
Whoa.
But anything, the GameCube emulator doesn't work right on the phone, and Apple's not making the accommodation required to make it work. So that's kind of like the limit. But PlayStation works. PlayStation 1 works. PSP works.
Whoa, that's all
DS
really
works.
interesting to know. Actually, I wish I didn't know it because I need to not waste time playing stupid games. Yeah.
Hopefully you're not winning stupid prizes.
Yeah. And play stupid games, yeah. Well, in the U.S., the stupid game is inflating the currency.
And the Federal Reserve just lowered interest rates this week, thus making for cheaper money and more inflation.
Another stupid game.
Yep.
And the stupid prize is that things are getting more expensive.
Indeed. They'll get more expensive as cheaper money flows into the economy, and everyone's going to be like, yeah, cheap money, yay.
But
Yeah.
rich people get it first.
Yep, the rich people and the politicians get it first.
So, like, with the interest rates being lower, that just means more loans going out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, free money. And that's the stupid game. And the stupid prize is things being worth less. Your money being worth less and things being way more expensive. So we're going to get into that and how the economy is failing, as it always is, in slow motion, when we come back. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live. More Free Talk Live coming up. Don't go anywhere. 603-283-6160.
Some of you have wanted to support Free Talk Live's mission on a monthly basis, but don't want to support Patreon. Now we have an alternative that also helps our premier streaming platform, Odyssey. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join at the top of the channel. You can subscribe for $5 per month, and unlike other subscription services, Odyssey adds their processing fee on top, so it'll cost a little over $5 per month, but Free Talk Live will receive the entire amount you pledged. Higher donation tiers are available if you're feeling so inspired. You'll get a special membership badge that's visible in the Odyssey chat room, and if we get enough supporters, we may enable members-only chat. This new subscription method is a great way to decentralize our direct listener support away from just Patreon and also support a libertarian-run business, Odyssey. Please visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join to subscribe to our Odyssey channel and help support spreading our message around the planet. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join today.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper. This week, US President Donald Trump visited the UK on an unprecedented second state visit, staying with King Charles at Windsor Castle and holding meetings with the UK Prime Minister. Trade, Ukraine and the Middle East were all discussed. FSN's UK correspondent Ollie Barrett followed the three-day trip and said London touted it as a huge success.
The UK government will be delighted with how the set-piece events at Windsor Castle have unfolded. President Trump seemed to be enjoying himself all the way through. Very warm words from the president about the US-UK relationship at the state banquet as well. The UK government also delighted to see the high-level delegation that President Trump has brought with him to the UK represented at that state banquet, as well as the President and the First Lady, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
After returning to Washington, US President Donald Trump held a phone call with China's leader Xi Jinping on Friday. Trump said it was very productive and that progress was made on a potential TikTok deal that would prevent a ban of the app in the US. The US president said that he and President Xi had agreed to meet in Asia next month. One of the biggest stars of late-night television in the United States was suspended indefinitely this week over comments he made relating to the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel, who hosted the Oscars last year, is the highest-profile casualty of the Trump administration's insistence that employers must penalise anyone who's spoken negatively about Mr. Kirk's killing. FSN Simon Marks reports from Washington.
These are the comments that ended Jimmy Kimmel's career as he mocked President Trump's supporters over the motive for Charlie Kirk's assassination.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
On Wednesday, the Trump-appointed head of the Federal Communications Commission called those comments truly sick, 2 days after the White House told employers they were obliged to fire anyone who said horrible things relating to Charlie Kirk's murder.
The US Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate for the first time this year and signalled 2 more to come. FSN's Kate Fisher followed the meeting in Washington, D.C.
There was only one dissenting push for a 50 basis point reduction by Trump-appointed Governor Stephen Miran. Looking ahead, the Fed board anticipates 2 more quarter percentage point cuts this year and 1 in 2026, a significantly more conservative outlook from the previously estimated 3. Fed Chair Powell described today's cut as risk management rather than a direct move aimed at shoring up a weak economy, emphasising the need to support the labour market.
From Bureaus Worldwide, this is FSN. The European Commission unveiled its latest set of Russian sanctions this week. It comes as European officials said Russian jets had violated Estonian airspace on Friday. FSN's William Denslow sent this report from Brussels.
In the wake of several reported Russian incursions into European Union airspace, as well as continued large-scale missile attacks on Ukraine, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says further pressure on the Kremlin is required. 118 additional vessels from Russia's so-called Shadow Fleet have been sanctioned. The EU is also imposing further restrictive measures on Russian banks and crypto platforms as the bloc seeks to close financial loopholes. Amid pressure from the Trump administration, the Commission is also proposing to speed up its transition away from Russian liquefied natural gas. Moscow accuses the EU of choosing sanctions over diplomacy. William Denslow, Brussels.
More than 1 million people joined protests in France against the government's budget cuts this week. There were hundreds of arrests as some protesters clashed with police who used tear gas and water cannons to maintain public order. FSN's Ross Cullen was out on the streets of Paris and filed this report.
We haven't seen numbers demonstrating on this scale since the pension reform protests of 2023. Huge rallies staged in every major French city. The demonstrators calling for an end to austerity. They wanted the president, Emmanuel Macron, to resign, and they wanted more taxes imposed on the richest in society. There were clashes. We saw demonstrators clashing with police. Tear gas was used by law enforcement, water cannon, and they also had 24 special armoured vehicles that they haven't used since the Yellow Vests protests in 2019.
And that's the Week in Review. That's Feature Story News. Nick Harper reporting.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Citing his erratic social behavior, nondescript occupation, and habit of accidentally walking off piers while pretending to read newspapers, acquaintances of 37-year-old Jeff Walther suspect he may be a bumbling spy. Residents of Worcester, Massachusetts are kind of hoping a Panera Bread will show up and plow over an obnoxious neighborhood bakery. Locals have said that the soulless restaurant chain, with its simple, impersonal experience, would be just the thing to help run the precious mom-and-pop establishment out of business.
Callahan's is really lovely and all, but it would be such a relief to have some college-aged kid take my order without making eye contact. I just need a cup of coffee. You know, we're not friends.
A follow-up survey of Worcester residents confirmed that 72% of patrons would rather be alerted of an order by a vibrating pager than a kind-faced woman who calls everybody sweetheart. In other news, feds break up a brutal Las Vegas man-fighting ring. A Christmas card ominously makes no mention of the twins. And the Boy Scouts celebrate 100 years of preparing teens for not having cool friends.
This is the Onion News Network.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny Liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
LibertyMinded.com. I mean, Riley.
And Richie Rich.
Oh my God, you really threw me off there. I was about to say that, Richie, I thought you were wearing a Free Talk Live jacket for a second because you have the yellow on your shirt.
Yep.
And like black jacket. But Riley and I have the Free Talk Live jackets.
We do. I just didn't wear mine today because it's not that weather yet.
Yeah, I usually wear that one more when it's a little bit colder. This one I'm wearing, like, I wear it in my house all the time because it's like light and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I need another jacket / hoodie, but all of the ones that I normally wear on a regular basis have been like hand-me-downs from my niece.
Do you like the ones like you're wearing that zip all the way down, or do you like hoodies that you pull over?
I like the zip.
Me too.
Yeah.
And,
but this zipper is broken, so I've been wearing it like a hoodie. I don't want to unzip it all the way. It's a pain to get back on.
Yeah. I have both. I have one that pulls over your head, and I almost never wear it. The Free Talk Live one, that because it's like a pullover one. I don't know why. It's like I buy them sometimes thinking like, oh, I'll start wearing these, and I don't. And I also have the zipper one. So
in the winter, I'll likely wear more pullovers because I don't take them off in the winter. Right, like this, if, you know, it's starting to become fall. Right, so like I wake up in the morning and it's chilly, and I put on my sweater. Right, and then like by midday, it's hot, and so I take it off. You know, but in the wintertime, it's just cold for 6 months.
Yep.
So I just leave the pullover on until I get home, and then I'll wear like, you know, the winter coat over that if it gets really cold or snowy out or rainy.
It's even like cold in my house today because I haven't really figured out what to do yet because like the changing temperature you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's like I walk in here, I'm like, oh no, it's like too warm for the computers, and I change it, and then it's like freezing cold, like an avalanche in here, or that's not what I meant to say, like blizzard in here. But in the last segment, we started teasing multiple times, and we hadn't got into it. We're
just teasing everybody tonight, aren't we?
Yeah. This article.
Bonnie with her dog jacket.
Skeeter with his letting us know what his whatever. I don't even know if I should say that word. Okay. Yeah.
Fetish.
So the New York Times article we were teasing to people. It's kind of hilarious. I wonder if this is AI. There's like this picture of like 4 different definitely Hamburger Helper looking dishes inside of each pot or pan. It's pretty funny because it's like, I don't know, it makes me think of like being at like a cake decorating competition, but instead it's the World Hamburger Helper competition.
That's actually cake made to look like Hamburger Helper.
Oh my God.
Have you seen that stuff?
Yeah, people who do that stuff could even make these pots and pans. They make everything that anything you can imagine, they can make it look like cake. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's really cool. Yeah, those videos can be pretty like kind of like satisfying because you're like you get to see them like cut into the one that is cake, and you're like, whoa, they cut into the spatula and it was actually cake. But they kind of cheat a lot because they use like Rice Krispie, chocolate, all kinds of things.
Okay.
I'm sure they do.
But
I've seen it. I've not spent that much time with it.
For whatever reason, I watch cake decorating videos like every single day.
Okay.
Not necessarily like the ones where they make like something random, but just cake decorating. And it's like another one of those things. It's like, I have 15 minutes right now to do absolutely nothing, and I want to like relax my brain. Cake decorating videos.
I had to lay down the law with my son's mom when we were dating. because she would spend all day watching the cooking channel.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you got to start cooking some of this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not,
Just
we cannot keep
advertising
eating
it.
Hamburger Helper if you're going to be watching the cooking channel all day.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. It's
Right.
potatoes and steaks and
Like, write down the
whatever.
recipe and actually do this, please.
Yes, exactly.
And eventually she did, and it was good.
I guess a lot of people probably did learn to cook from the actual like
Yeah.
TV back then.
I'm going to call out my son real quick because I texted him twice now. I said, hey, can you get your mom's like shrimp linguine recipe? Because I want it. And he said yes both times and still hasn't gotten back to me. So what's up with that, buddy?
Yeah.
So speaking of cooking, I had a bread making adventure this week. I tried making whole wheat bread this week.
I smelled
Okay.
bread from your house.
Yes.
It smells
Was it a
good.
success?
It was a success, but whole wheat bread is a little different than white bread. It's a little more hearty, a little more coarse,
Okay.
thicker, heavier. I still like it though.
Okay. Are you selling it soon?
Sure.
Okay.
You want to buy some more bread?
Yeah, maybe not today, but I'll be back next week.
I think
Okay.
you should get your table and set up downtown and get a ticket already.
Okay. I'll
oh
do
wait, maybe let's not
Central
talk about
Square.
it. Just do it like I was saying earlier.
it. Yeah. Set up in, maybe we'll set up in like Railroad Square or something like that and sell
You-
some bread.
You know how the pickle guy in Manchester got a ticket? We talked about it on Free
Yep.
Talk Live. Apparently, it's also a rule in Keene that you can't sell prepared food.
Okay.
I did not know that. Like, just you can't just sell it to your friends like you can anywhere else in New Hampshire. Like, now that I think of it, it actually makes sense because, like, some people have chickens here, so why wouldn't they have, like, a stand on the side of the road that said, like, eggs for sale, but in Keene? But no, you never see that. And that's because there's a rule against it, which is so stupid.
That is a little stupid. I guess we'll have to test that out.
The other day, one of the neighbor's chickens, I literally was on my front porch, like, doing something with my flower pot, and I hear a noise, I turn around, and the step of my porch I'm standing on, a chicken was there. A huge chicken I almost thought was a rooster.
Oh, wow.
And it was like staring at me and starts like making little noises at me and like kind of lifting its feathers a little. And I think it was like asking for food. It was like demanding food from me. And then 3 more giant chickens show up and I had to go knock on their door. I wish I could have helped them like pick up the chicken and bring it there, but I was scared. I was like, okay, I'm not going to make any sudden movements. Hello?
They're
I come in
vicious.
peace. Yeah.
That's why they make them fight.
It's like it saw me and I was like, hey, you, give me something. Like literally. Oh my God, that's sad to think of that. Yeah, I could see them getting vicious, but those ones are nice. Anyways, yeah.
Until a coyote comes around.
That's sad. Oh, well, yeah. In Ian's prison, a coyote ate like 12 goslings.
Oh,
So sad.
That is really sad.
Those are really cute, like cuter maybe than baby chickens even.
So tender.
Oh my God.
Goose?
Have you had goose? Goose
Nope.
is good.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I've never had goose.
Goose is kind of greasy though.
Is it anything like duck? Because duck is good. So I'd be shocked if it wasn't kind of good. Just never thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I like duck too.
I like duck, and I've only had it a couple times, but I never really thought about eating goose. It's kind of hilarious how we haven't gotten into this article at all, and like
Stop teasing
tease it so
people,
much.
Bonnie.
But it is a
She
bad
likes
sign.
being a tease though.
It is a bad sign for the economy that Hamburger Helper sales are rising. You know, like that's something I feel like most people intuitively would know. Like if you ask them, like, is this a good sign? No, that's a bad sign because that means more and more people are like struggling to put food on their table.
It's also intuitively going to raise the price of Hamburger Helper. Right? More demand, same supply, higher price.
I wonder if they are going to, like lift the price for it.
It almost has to.
In the 1970s, Hamburger Helper became a staple on American dinner tables as families, strained by inflation and soaring beef prices, looked to turn a pound of ground beef into an entire meal. And I always hear that there was like some kind of big inflation problem in the 1970s. Never really like read about it. Do you guys know anything about that?
I know some things about it. I know that there were gas lines. I know that there were, interest rates are pretty high.
The gas lines were also because they capped the price of gas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never heard that. So
Is that why price?
You're not allowed, and then all of a sudden,
Is that
you
why
line
price
people in.
caps don't work?
That's one of the effects of having a price cap.
Okay.
having
is-
lines for things and people not able
Yeah.
to go get as much
Right.
as they need. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So these days, those same pressures are why the flavored pasta mix is coming to the rescue again. While most food companies, but I gotta say, I wonder if it's actually cheaper than just buying unflavored pasta and using the seasonings you might most likely already have and
It's the cheese sauce. Like you're gonna have to buy the cheese sauce separate. It's like powdered cheese.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how you would make you can just the cheese, if you actually melt cheese into your pasta, that's going to be more expensive probably. That's probably exactly why it's more expensive.
Right. Based Hamburger Helper is like a little packet of pasta which you can get separate. Mm-hmm. Right? You provide your own water, you provide your own milk, and then the rest is the seasoning packet with the cheese in it.
Mm-hmm. So I forget that there's like a dry cheese in it, like macaroni. Yeah.
Right.
That's probably exactly what makes it expensive, probably.
To do it on your own. It's what would make, you could, everything in there you can do on your own, right? It's just cheaper to do it their way because, the cheese sauce.
And not that it would be like an expensive, like out there meal, but more expensive than the bare minimum, which is Hamburger Helper.
Yeah.
So... And if you want to go more bare minimum, I think this article is going to tell us that people are actually using like Spam. So these days,
or the Walmart brand Hamburger Helper.
Oh yeah. That's another way to make it even cheaper.
Yep.
And like Suddenly salad,
it's like
and then
less a box.
There's a great value Suddenly salad too.
There you
go. So while most food companies are seeing declines in consumer demand for their products, sales of Hamburger Helper are up 14.5% in the year through August, getting an extra bump from its appearance on an episode of The Bear in June. I don't know what that is. According to the company that owns the brand Eagle Foods. I've never heard of The Bear, but yep, we do have a caller on the line. We have Sarah from New Mexico. So Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind, Sarah?
Yes, I want to mention that the media, all they ever announce is like the election day. That's the big hype. That.
I feel like they announce way more than that every night.
Well, the thing is, they never talk about, like, they opened up one place October 7th for 4 weeks. Once they open that one place, that's not a big deal about the early voting places. They make a big deal about the very last day to vote.
Okay.
And, okay.
That's kind of how you would run a deadline, right? Hey, get your voting done before October 7th or whatever date it is.
Right, the last day to vote. But I think it's too much. It's like a setup, as far as I'm concerned. Because people wait. Oh, I'm going to wait until election day, and what happens? Your tire blows out, your kid gets sick, or you have to get something done right away.
Your tire gets sick, your kid blows out.
Well, one of the things that you just forget, a lot of people forget to vote on election day because they have so many emergency things. They got to have it done.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget.
But it's not just one day ever, right? Isn't there usually early voting?
Well, that's what she's saying. She's saying they only highlight the last day.
Okay. So she's saying, like, it exists, but yeah, okay.
Labor Day sale ends Monday. Right? You can buy early.
I guess
that's the deadline.
They have sales all before, but they emphasize that, the very last day on the sale. Is that what the big hype is?
Well, yeah, because that's the last day. That's the end of the deal, right? You have to do it all before that day. That's the deadline, right? If you're in college, the only thing that matters is like when your term papers due, right? Like get it in by Thursday. You can turn it in Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but if you don't get it in by Thursday, then you lose. Like you miss out.
Is this just the problem where the bottom, percentile who don't understand that and they only hear the word Thursday? Is this what we're talking about?
You're on your way to class and your tire blows out or your kid blows up and like, oh, yeah, now you get an F.
Yeah, all of a sudden you got like 3 things you got to do that day. So I think to me, it's like a setup. It's like a form of voter suppression to me because they wait and they get off work and they're tired. They drag themselves to the polling place. If they make it there, 5 minutes before it closes, they're not going to take you 1 minute afterwards. And you make it exactly 7 p.m. They will have to take you in line and until you vote, even if it takes you 3 hours. I have been there like that, comforting people during the Obama election. I volunteered to do it. It's like there's one last thing if you want to comfort people waiting in line so they don't get sad. They're hungry, they're thirsty, they're tired, they just walked off, and that's the end of it. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I went down there at like 9 o'clock in the evening, standing in line, talking to people so they don't walk off.
This is where you got to go set up to sell your bread, Riley.
Okay.
Voter lines.
Got it.
Hungry?
Voter lines,
We got bread.
You know what? I think maybe I should have, if I had some money, I would have paid for some pizza or something for people to eat or bring water.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, and I did election day calling everybody around the state. So it was really interesting. So the Democrats from Chicago came down with white bands. See, New Mexico, we don't have that kind of game to put together an election. So they
because Chicago's going to come down to New Mexico and make sure New Mexico votes for Obama. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Chicago's
that's
voting for Obama. You know that for sure. So.
Yeah, so I was like, whoa, man. So they had games. So they had something computer that brought up all the people that did not vote yet, that was Democrat, on their computer. And so when you call, so then they would just do an auto dial, and we were calling everybody. And I was talking to somebody like, oh, something came up. I can't go today. It's like, can you go down there? It's going to be open until 7 o'clock. And
we're sending the van to get you.
Yeah, you need a ride. We're like, we'll come and get you and pick you up, because they had the vans out in all of the counties ready to go, roll them, pick them, and take them to the polling place. But you're right. I was on election day talking to people. I'm going there right now as I'm in the car driving when I'm talking to you. So I hung them up. But yeah, it's amazing. I talked to one guy. They were going to like, oh, I wasn't going to go, but I'll go since you called me. Yeah, that's the very last election day. There you go.
Start saving up your money now, Sarah, so you have pizza money when the time is near.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Go there with bottles of water and pizza for people that are only Democrat. I think that you can't do that, though. Yeah, you can't do that. It's partisan. You can't say, only if you're voting for Obama or my candidate, Tim Keller, I'm going to feed you and give you drinks. Everybody else could go die,
I don't know, because I don't know that you couldn't. You're not part of some campaign. You're just a person. You might be able to do that. I could be wrong, so don't take my advice. I also looked up, I wanted to know, because, I was like a kid in 2008. I wanted to look, I didn't know, like, I would assume that New Mexico was like a shoo-in for Obama, but I didn't know, so I looked it up, and it says that Obama won by a 15-point margin, or 15.13% margin.
That seems significant.
So it's definitely significant.
Okay.
In all of these 16 news organizations' predictions were that he would win. All 16 predicted he would win. So apparently he was definitely going to win. It's like, if there were people waiting all night crying in the lines because they have been there all day, should have just left.
Well,
He's definitely going to win.
I was there. I was trying. It's like, you guys could all pack up and leave. You don't have to do any more. I was there calling people for 3 hours. But if you still want to help, you could comfort the people that are in line. And it's like, okay, well, I want to try it. Well, that's the last time I'm going to do it. I just about killed myself during that election. Yeah, I was like, it's like almost like 9 o'clock. I'm standing there talking to people, and I got wore out, and I wind up having to leave. But there were people after I left, like 7 o'clock, still standing in line to vote.
Were you there for the 2004 election?
I think what was the second round when Obama won the 2, right?
I just want to know if you were there for 2004, because it says that Bush actually won, but he only won by a margin of 0.79%.
In New Mexico?
In New Mexico, he actually won.
Wow, that's
so Obama flipped it.
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
By what? That year,
significant margin.
I tell you, we had absentee ballots. They found boxes of it dumped out in Rio Grande. That was the year that Bush won. So it was a rigged election.
Okay.
I believe it.
Same.
Don't even know anything about it. I believe you.
I think they're all rigged.
Yeah.
They are. They're all rigged one way or another.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Well, the absentee ballot, what they would do is they would count after the election day, because the way it was is that it had to be counted because they never had enough money or people to count it. So they let it sit around after the election, 7 o'clock, and then it took a couple of days to tally up what came in that day and the early voting. And so the absentee ballot, somebody stole it and dumped it in the Rio Grande. I mean, we're talking boxes of it. And they found absentee ballot locked up in the closet after a month after. They forgot where they put it. They probably found another 50 box. You know, that was the year
It's in Joe Biden's garage.
That was it would have been Joe Biden wouldn't do that because he wanted to win.
Okay.
Oh.
It was the opposite. Oh wait, no, this was Joe Biden. I don't know if he's related because that was George Bush won against, what was it, Kerry?
John Kerry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who his running mate was.
And then just for fun, I looked up the 2012 election in New Mexico, and actually Obama won, but by a little bit less. It was a 10% margin, so don't know what's up with that.
Oh, but you know what? I had so much fun. It's illegal to put the campaign signs on a public park corner. And one of the, Luis Sanchez, he put his signs up there, and he happened to be non-color. He said, so you know what? It was illegal, so I crunched it. I bent it to the floor, and I bent it, try to break it, and I actually stomped on it. You know what I mean? Try to put some butter on it, and some guy was on a bike drove by, he had a smile on his face. It was funny. I was stomping on the sign.
Oh, where was TikTok back then? Crazy New Mexico lady stomps political sign of her opponent.
Yeah, that's a felony in New Hampshire. I don't know about New Mexico.
Well, the thing is, it's not because of the fact that it was an illegal sign parked in public property. It's only allotted for private property. Mm. So technically, they were violating public. You have to be a homeowner that I want this sign, and you're limited to one sign on your property in your yard.
Oh.
So they were supposed to put it on a public property, so it was on a public property. So I could pull it out, stomp on it, or whatever. And I bent it to the floor, and I was stomping on it. But the guy on the bike didn't beat me up or anything, and he thought it was funny. He probably knew that guy was a Republican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most everybody here in Albuquerque is 7 Democrats for 1 Republican or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised, but I guess it makes sense because Gary Johnson was governor in New Mexico, but he won 9.3% of the vote, the presidential election in 2016 in New Mexico.
All right, that's probably his best state then.
Probably.
Because he barely got 3 or 4% nationwide.
Yep.
Okay.
Probably was his best state. Yeah, Gary Johnson, the governor at the time in 2016, or I don't know if it was at the time, but he was a former governor.
Yeah, but of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you another. Do you know why he won?
Why?
We have around 1,000 to 1,500 just in our county come in after the election date. Absentee ballots come in after 1,000. That's the reason how he got elected.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Governor?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, I always will believe you when you say, somebody's trying to throw the election. It doesn't make sense not to. More Free Talk Live coming up. Whatever you want to bring up on the air with us, 603-283-6160 is the number. 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. Rising fees have made Bitcoin useless for purchases, but Dash continues to have fees less than 1 cent per transaction, and its features ensure Dash is undefeated as the most useful cryptocurrency in the marketplace. From a technical standpoint, Dash transactions are irreversible, and its network is protected from 51% attacks by their Chainlocks technology. There's no need to wait for a confirmation before considering a Dash transaction complete, so it's great for merchants. Dash is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies and is widely available on exchanges, including the decentralized Maya protocol, and in multi-crypto wallets. It's easy to get and use Dash. Start by learning more at Dash.org. Big thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month to promote Dash on the air. Visit Dash.org to learn about Dash. Dash.org.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. The UK is expected to imminently announce the recognition of the state of Palestine. The move is set to provoke harsh criticism from Israel. On Thursday, during his state visit, the US president said the recognition of Palestinian statehood was one of the few areas where he and the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer disagreed. Ollie Barrett reports from London.
The UK government is preparing to recognise the Palestinian state ahead of a United Nations conference on Monday at which it will make a formal declaration on the issue. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's administration said in July it would move towards recognition if Israel didn't meet a series of conditions such as a ceasefire, resumption of humanitarian aid in Gaza and no further annexation in the West Bank. Critics in the UK say the decision breaches international norms, that a state should be recognised only if it has a functioning government, defined borders and a stable population. The US also opposes the move, with President Trump saying it will reward Hamas. Keir Starmer says Hamas is a terrorist organisation, must be disarmed and can play no part in any future Palestinian government. Ollie Barrett, London.
The European Commission is expected to unveil its latest round of sanctions targeting Russia on Friday. The EU is considering restrictions on several firms in India and China for handling Russian oil and is also aiming to use frozen Russian central bank assets to support Ukraine. Here's William Denslow in Brussels.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said this 19th sanctions package would target Russia's shadow fleet, banks and crypto sector. Von der Leyen has also said the bloc will seek to explore how to phase out the use of Russian fossil fuels faster. That's a key call from US President Trump, who's also asking Ukraine's allies to impose tariffs on China and India in a bid to pressure them into tightening the screw on Moscow. The EU's new sanctions measure could reportedly sanction firms in India and China that assist with Russia's oil trade. William Denslow, Brussels.
An Eritrean man has been flown to France from the United Kingdom under the joint Paris-London deal to return illegal immigrants known as one in, one out. A last-minute British court bid to delay the departure failed. On Thursday, an Indian national became the first person to be sent to France in a case that did not involve a legal challenge. Earlier this year, the two countries agreed to the deal intended to deter people from turning to smugglers to cross the English Channel. The accord sees France take in people who cross the Channel to the UK illegally. Britain agreed to allow people to stay if they satisfy legal and security protocols and have not previously tried to cross to British shores in small boats. Hours after the first removal under the agreement, President Trump urged the British Prime Minister to involve the military in dealing with immigration issues. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call 603-283-6160 to get in on the phones with us here at Free Talk Live. And now, are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites?
Yes.
Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Social.freetalklive.com. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
And Riley's tired of the big tech social media sites.
I am.
Are you?
I am to some extent, because
Okay.
they're the major platforms where everybody hangs out and they're not willing to go anywhere else.
You gotta lead the way, Riley. You just have to exit and see how many people. It's an ego check.
All right.
I'm going to Mastodon, and then just see how many people follow you there. And it's like nobody. We're like, well, I don't really need to post on X then, because nobody really cares what I have to say.
I wonder why Ian switched it up, but I don't remember. Maybe it was because of the Elon takeover, and he was promising to be more free speech oriented and stuff. But
No, I think it predates that.
Yeah, it
doesn't
definitely does predate that. I think that Mastodon was a more proper, more good feel for the show because,
No. I was saying the opposite. I was saying, I wonder why Ian stopped doing what he used to do, which was only post on Mastodon, and his tweets would say, if you want to see the rest of my tweet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he turned it off. And maybe it's because of the
because you're not getting because you don't get the engagement on the other platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, hardly anyone's on the other platforms as much. Blue Sky is for the left people, and I don't know.
Yeah, my friend really wants me and like all of his friends to join Nostr. So I tried. I actually tried the other day, and I was just like, "What? I have to do this weird extra step? I'm not doing that right now." I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah.
Like you go try to join it, and it gives you basically like seed phrases for your account.
There's alternative sites for almost every big site you can think of.
Absolutely.
But you don't get the engagement there, right? So I forget. Oh man, I'm trying to think now. There was someone recently was like off of YouTube, and like I'm going to Odyssey, or Rumble, or one of those two. I don't remember which one, where they don't censor me, and I can say what I want. And then they went back to YouTube because like even though YouTube censors me, I make more money on YouTube because the pay structure and the monetization is better.
And that's the key. You've got to get the engagement.
Well, sure, but like that's why the big ones exist.
Yeah.
Right? Like they provide enough value to retain most of their customers, even though an alternative exists that may be better and more freedom oriented. Just no one moves.
Yeah, no social media site really makes sense to use if you can't actually get socialization done there, Right. Like the thing about Twitter is it feels like it's like the current day public square for the entire world.
Sure.
I actually wish, and it's so funny, like sometimes like you think something, then you'll see someone else tweet about it, and it's like we really are all in the same like subconscious, I swear. But I was thinking, I wish that you could like set Twitter to just like whatever state you wanted or whatever even country. Like sometimes I wish I was just on America Twitter and I didn't have to see all this other stuff that I don't care about. Like sometimes I wish you could just put a filter and be like, today I only want to be on America Twitter. And like maybe I want to go check out, like maybe I'll ask to visit UK Twitter one day because I'm interested.
Well, and that's, for me personally, I don't know if I could filter it like that, but that's why I have like multiple Twitter accounts or X accounts.
For different
things. Yeah. So I've got one that I follow a bunch of UFC and WWE accounts and fighters and wrestlers, right? And I've got one that I exclusively follow like retro video games. Mm-hmm. And I've got one that I exclusively follow like liberty-minded people in New Hampshire, right? And like I don't want them intermingling.
I definitely have a problem, or like not a problem, but like I'm not good at like niches. Like if I want to post about something, I'll just post about it, and the very next thing will be completely different. So like I don't think I'm like good at growing followings or anything.
I don't post that much either.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's for me to follow those specific things so I get news from those specific categories if I'm looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
And nary the two shall mix.
Yeah.
Right? Well, like I don't want my Liberty news when I'm trying to find out who won the fight last night.
Kind of wish I had done something like that with YouTube because like I love getting served a lot of like conspiracy things, and right now I'm really into like Gypsy Rose, like but the truth about what she did, that is a crazy rabbit hole. But then
it messes with your algorithm.
No, but what messed with it was I saw like this one video about a really smart bird, African gray, I think he's a parrot, that can talk, and he's like the smartest bird in the world, and he won Guinness Book of World Records.
Gypsy Rose did it. Gypsy Rose did it.
Oh my god. So I've been like, watching his videos now. It's like, oh, now it thinks I want to watch like cat videos, a funny goat video, like all kinds of animal videos, and I have to keep clicking not interested to fix my like for you on YouTube.
Oh wow.
Oh my god, that's pretty frustrating. I should have done what you're talking about. Then it'd be like logging out, logging in. I don't know. I don't ever log out of YouTube.
Or open a privacy window and just don't log in when you're going to do something random that you don't want it to affect your algorithm.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because like my algorithm was so great for a while. It was like cake videos and conspiracy videos and Gypsy Rose.
There you go.
And I really messed it up. I'm getting served like 15-year-old cat videos. And I'm like, I actually don't want to watch this, even though you're making me interested because it looks kind of cute and funny. And I'm going to mess it up even more.
Bonnie clicks the subscribe button on the cat video, and that's it.
Exactly.
They've got her.
But I don't think we really got into the more interesting part of this hamburger helper thing, so I want to get into it, and then we can move on to another article. But basically, this article from the New York Times is telling us...
news source.
It apparently is telling us that hamburger helper sales are on the rise as Americans are trying to stretch their food dollar. And one thing about it, like something they seem to be teasing, I think that they're like not even using ground beef because ground beef is rising too high.
Yeah.
So they said that it's not just Hamburger Helper. Sales of foods commonly purchased by consumers when financial times get tough are on the rise, according to industry analysis. Purchases of rice are up 7.5% this year. That makes sense. You can hold on to it for a long time. And
Just beware of the rice weevils.
Distressed shoppers are also buying more cans of tuna, salmon, and sardines.
Okay.
It's kind of funny to call that like distressed. Well,
I don't find salmon to be all that cheap.
I guess cans of it are probably cheaper than.
Well,
I've never
cheaper
bought
than
it.
fresh, but like I feel like it's more expensive than tuna.
I never went to go buy canned salmon, honestly.
Okay.
So
I've got
But
some
I
in the
would-
cupboard, but it wasn't. I don't remember it being as cheap as tuna or sardines.
I would guess you'd be right. Like
Okay.
that's what I would make the same guess as you. But
I don't like fish enough to buy it canned.
Okay.
actually, when I was a kid, I didn't. But as an adult, sometimes I just actually crave like a tuna salad sandwich. So I've been doing that sometimes.
The only thing I like I'll eat the tuna sandwich every once in a while, but
Lobster roll.
my mom used to make what she called tuna patties, which is made with like either dried bread crumbs or saltine crackers mixed with mayo, mustard, or Miracle Whipping mustard or something like that. Maybe a little pickle juice. And she'd fry them on a grill with bacon grease, and they were so good.
That actually does sound good. I made
Yeah.
something similar recently. I made like crab cakes at my own house. The thing was, I got this crab cake that wasn't lump. It was like really shredded, so that kind of messed it up. But other than that, I'm gonna try it again. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Nice.
Okay.
So that sounds awesome. That's a good insight. Like put the mayonnaise directly into it.
Yes.
Well, and they have tuna helper too. That's like right next to your hamburger helper.
I don't think I ever tried that or had
Okay.
that as a kid or anything. They say sales of beans and boxes of macaroni and cheese are also strong based on data from the research firm. Uncertainty about the economy and higher tariffs levied on goods from a variety of countries have led many consumers to refocus their spending on essentials or items that are good values while cutting back on extras or unnecessary spending. Cost of living expenses are up. Eating and drinking expenses are up, said Sally Lyons Wyatt, who advises packaged food companies at Circana. She says, well, I lost what she said, sorry.
What did she say, Bonnie? We need to know. You can't leave us on a cliffhanger like
I'm
this.
so concerned. I need to know right now.
I scrolled like so hard for no reason. Like, consumers are looking for foods that fill them up for the least amount of money.
Yeah. McDonald's.
You think people like always do that? It's funny. The next or sentence says McDonald's in it.
See?
But McDonald's is going higher and like it's getting way more expensive than it's worth. But
Well, comparatively, yes,
Mhm.
but it's still the cheapest.
Hmm.
And as far as like calories per dollar, it's up there, man.
in grocery stores, shoppers are increasingly picking up less expensive store brands, like you're saying, probably even the less expensive store brand of Hamburger Helper. McDonald's and other restaurant chains are offering more value meals.
See?
Sales of sweet treats like ice cream, cookies, and cakes are down, according to Circana, whoever that is. Like, they didn't even really introduce Circana. I don't know what it is. I thought it said cicada when I first saw the word there. While inflation has cooled considerably for the peak levels seen in 2022, the price for food consumed at home is still 21% higher than it was 4 years ago. And in August, prices in several food categories, including meats, coffee, and fruits and vegetables, jumped considerably, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which, I don't even believe them. Like, it's probably more than 21%. Don't you guys agree that they probably lie?
Well, yeah, they definitely lie. And whatever doesn't fit the basket of goods that they're trying to like push on you, they just ignore. Right? That's how they keep the inflation numbers low. They go, well, if you cut out like housing, food, and gas, right, then the inflation number is like 1%.
Yes.
Right? But
But they gotta fool the American people to think that the numbers are completely this way, but they're not.
Right. But the stuff you normally buy on a regular basis, like it's all up.
Oh, yeah.
As the article illustrates, right? Food is up, housing definitely up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't know about you, but like my rent just went up again, right? I have a storage locker that's gone up, a number of times since the company switched over. Everything goes up and like wages sag behind
So
for most people.
We have a review of Hamburger Helper here. She agrees, I think, with me. It says, Evelyn Hidalgo, a 31-year-old digital creator in Nashville, picked up a box of Hamburger Helper stroganoff flavor.
Delicious.
I don't remember if I had that one. My dad liked to make beef stroganoff, so I don't know if we got the Hamburger Helper one, but stroganoff flavor last year for the first time for her and her husband. She said, I was looking for a meal to put in our rotation for days when I needed something really convenient and fast, but that would also save us money. She said the finished product tasted bland and has not tried it again.
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing it wrong.
Maybe Hamburger Helper is more bland than she's used to.
Well, it's okay. So, like, from experience, it is what it is. And then on the box, there are like recommendations.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. Like add fresh cut tomatoes to make it a little more zesty or whatever. Or like the stroganoff, it's like add a dollop of sour cream to make it creamier.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
or you can season your meat.
That too. Right. So, like, I don't know what the box says for the meat, but like, my hamburgers always, garlic and onions.
Yep.
Right.
Garlic, salt, pepper,
SPG
onion.
and onions in everything, every like hamburger that I make.
Yeah.
MSG? Was that what you said?
No, it's SPG, salt, pepper, garlic.
Oh, okay.
But MSG is delicious too. I'm not against MSG.
I didn't ever do any kind of research on like if it's healthy for you or not, and I know people do. Well, you're saying it's not, but there are people that are saying, "Oh, that was just like an anti-Chinese like propaganda, and really, it's not bad for you."
Okay.
But I don't know that I believe them either. You know what I mean?
I just know like my stepmom has a really good Chex Mix recipe, and part of the recipe is MSG.
Huh.
And I gave it when we were dating. I gave it to my son's mom, and she gave it to her grandma to make us Chex Mix because like we didn't have the kitchen. And she followed the recipe. I'm like, this does not taste the same. Like she's like, my grandma followed the recipe. I'm like, no, she didn't. Ask her again. Like she changed something, and she goes like, well, she left out the MSG because that's bad for you. All right, well, she screwed it up. Make it again. And sure enough, you put the MSG back in there, and it's delicious.
Oh my God, you like that MSG, don't you?
I do.
Interesting.
I could be wrong that MSG would be in this, but there were these fudge pops when I was a kid that we liked, and my mom said we couldn't have them anymore because there's an ingredient in them that puts holes in your brain.
Okay.
But that was probably some kind of, just like internet sensational like headline or something.
Or she just didn't want you eating so many fudge pops.
But I feel like it was MSG, but then again, with that being a fudge pop, I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't think so.
They say in this article, but while Hamburger Helper may stretch food dollars, it is not exactly in line with the broad movement for less processed, healthier food options.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Right? If you can afford it, you can go farm fresh and pay 4 times as much for a pound of meat. Right? You can go to the farmer's market. You can go to Whole Foods and pay more for organic, locally grown. What is the Monsanto free whatever?
No GMO.
Yeah, no GMO. That's the one. Yeah, you could do that. It's more expensive, right? So like, who's eating the good stuff? Like rich people. Or people who are like value it high enough to cut out other things in their life,
so
that their main expense is food, right? But the rest of us, we have to eat cheap, and the cheaper we can eat, the better. Calories per dollar, man. If you don't have money,
and the
like,
cheap
that's
food's
the thing.
poisoned.
Yeah,
with Roundup.
Yep.
Which they wash off.
Gets
and
in the molecules.
And it's not even like targeted at humans.
It gets in the molecules, and it's a metal chelator.
Okay.
But aside from that, something that people talk about a lot, this says a box of Hamburger Helper cheeseburger macaroni, which is the one that like I definitely remember eating a lot as a kid, contains artificial dyes like yellow 5, and a single serving has 27% of the daily suggested intake of sodium. And actually, that reminds me of something I was going to say. She said that the finished product of the stroganoff is bland.
Yeah.
I don't really remember eating the stroganoff flavor specifically, but that's the thing. I wouldn't call any of the Hamburger Helper I had as a kid bland. In fact, it was just like this like in your face, not very great type of too much like salt and flavoring.
Okay.
Like maybe, and it's like, it's not like I like don't season my meat or food.
Well,
it's just I feel like I do it in a way that tastes good, not just like dump a whole bucket of salt in there. That's what it tastes like.
And that's what I'm saying. So if she found the stroganoff bland, she could have added something else to season it.
Definitely.
Either in the meat or afterwards, like put some salt in it. Right? You're allowed to do that.
Throw some butter in it that's salted.
I mean, again, to stretch it even further, right? I'll for like the hamburger cheeseburger one or whatever, I'll put like a cup or two of the frozen vegetables, right? Just throw that in there with it and cook. It cooks the same, makes it more filling, and you get some veggies, even though they're frozen. What do I care?
I've heard that frozen vegetables are sometimes better because, like, say you bought an artichoke. I don't know why it's the first thing popped in my head. It's probably been, traveling to you for like a few weeks or so, or like a week.
Yeah,
and like
the flash frozen peas or whatever.
Yeah, the flash frozen artichoke, I don't know, was frozen right there. So it's like actually frozen at a, like from the time it was picked, less time than a fresh one that you get.
Sure.
Yeah, so it could be possible that they're better for you. But it could also be possible that like the time they're frozen, like sitting there, like starts to lose nutrition. I don't know.
Yeah, they say similar things about microwaves, right? Microwave removes the nutrition from your, and it doesn't.
I don't know about that. I stopped believing that with the little bit of like research I went and looked into about it, and also some stuff that Ian explained to me about it. Like, I don't really think the microwave is that bad for you. The thing about it is
that's what I'm saying.
It like isn't good. Like, it doesn't taste good. So what I mean is, like, if I'm gonna cook something, or heat something up, most of the time I would rather do it in my little toaster oven. So much better. It like tastes better. Like, if I was gonna reheat meat, I would never do the microwave.
Okay.
It just turns out nasty to me.
Okay.
Especially like chicken, it almost turns into like a rubbery situation. But
I do it all the time because I meal prep, right? So like I cooked like 9 pieces of chicken in the oven yesterday. Seasoned it, threw it in the oven, a little bit of olive oil, right? Cooked it. I don't know if it's cooked through because I know that before I throw it in the microwave, for dinner tomorrow night, I'm going to slice it up. And whatever's not cooked, we'll finish cooking in the microwave, but it's like cooked and seasoned and seared or whatever in the oven. And it's fine.
And there are definitely some things you can do, like keep it really wet.
Yeah.
If it gets dry in its microwave, that's disgusting. It turns into like rubber.
Yeah.
But either way, I no longer am like, oh, it's going to give me cancer, because first of all, I thought like being in the room with it could possibly give me cancer, and Ian's like, no, the microwaves are too big to even go through these holes. And if he's right,
that's
then
why
I'm
you
less
close
scared.
the door of the microwave.
Well, yeah. But
it's like the oven is airtight, right? Like nothing's getting in except what's already in there.
Yeah, but I like imagined my whole life as a kid, like if the microwave's on, I gotta get away from it, like not go put my head next to it. But you would know if microwaves were hitting you, and I know that now.
Yeah, well, maybe, right? Because the guy that invented it, the way the story goes, the way he found out was he had a candy bar in his pocket that melted when he walked by the open microwave that they were doing science experiments on. He went, oh, this heated up my candy, but it's not like his ribs were like burning or his pocket was on fire.
It's supposed to be like the outer layer of your skin burns, but like I don't know if that's only with like the really high ones that they use for like weapons allegedly or whatever.
Yeah, what I'm saying is when they were before it was invented, they were working with exposed microwaves, and it's not like the scientists in the room were like on fire and burning themselves. Right?
Yeah.
They would have noticed. It was a candy bar that melted in his pocket. It constitutes itself when you mix it with water and milk.
Even when I was a kid, when I would see like real cheese, made with real cheese on things, I'm like, what is fake cheese? And that's disgusting, Hopefully I'm not eating anything with fake cheese, but yeah, maybe like Cheetos, probably.
Or Kraft American. That's like, what is it? That's a combination of other cheases that they've blended together.
Oh, like Velveeta? That's disgusting.
Okay.
And I think we're talking about the same thing. Velveeta is disgusting. I hate it.
But it melts better than all the other cheeses.
I'm not a fan of Velveeta cheese either.
Okay.
It's like a molecule away from plastic. That's what they always say. I have no idea if it's true. But he said, but we are actively looking to remove some of the artificial ingredients that have made their way into the product over time. We're listening to consumers and adapting the product. That's kind of good to know, I guess.
No, because it's going to raise the price.
Uh-oh.
It's going to price them out of their poor person market.
Well, he's going to have to take out the yellow number 5, right? Because didn't that get made illegal coming soon?
All right.
It's like
so your packet of cheese and hamburger helper is going to be white instead of yellow then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and people are going to be like, oh, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
This isn't real cheese because it's not yellow.
Apparently, they've made it to where talc can't be in makeup, and they've made it to where these colors can't be in food. So yeah, we're gonna notice things change. But then again, they can also use like vegetable coloring if they really want it colored. Like they use turmeric for coloring
Okay.
And I actually got these German candies before I realized that they actually had sunflower seed oil in them too. That they didn't have any dyes in them because they're made in Germany. They weren't that much different either. I felt like they were going to be like, wow, some crazy type of flavors I've never tried before. But no. Anyways, I don't even know what they're called. Like, I don't know how to say it. It's like Maum, M-A-O-M or something like that.
Okay.
But all of their colors I noticed were just like spirulina for the green, turmeric for the yellow.
I also feel like it's kind of unfair a little bit when people make the comparison to like the European ingredients, because like Europe is the individual countries in Europe are so much smaller than America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So like when they produce the things for the American market, it has to be shelf stable for months because it's going to be distributed across the country in any number of stores for any duration of time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're like, oh, we're just doing this in Germany or France or England, right? Doesn't have that far to travel, doesn't have to sit very long. It's closer to like, factory to table than you could do here in America. So,
Well,
you have to put some preservatives in there.
One thing I've heard about at least France is that they like, all right, I wake up, brush my teeth, leave my house to go get my food for the day. Like they don't just like
they don't refrigerate or keep it in the cabinet.
Not for long, or at least not most their food or something.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like a cultural thing too. But 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up. 603-283-6160. Is this a sign of the failing economy? Call 603-283-6160. Let us know what's been going on in your world.
Scientology minister Frank D. Linehan was arrested this morning on 471 charges of molesting Thetans. The popular 56-year-old minister was reportedly taken into custody after an investigation revealed this week that he sexually abused dozens of Thetans in the past year, with many of the ancient alien spirits being as young as 65 million years old.
Church members left these Thetans alone with someone they trusted, and Mr. Linehan clearly violated that trust.
According to police reports, the abuse continued as recently as last week when Linehan forced a 70-million-year-old alien spirit to perform oral sex during a level OT2 solo auditing session. Since the allegations against Linehan surfaced, more and more church members have come forward about Thetan abuse. Despite the church's efforts to recover from the incident, the scandal may alienate a whole generation of Scientologists.
I don't see how they can expect anyone to continue moving up the bridge to total freedom and achieve clear after this.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Stories in Washington, I'm Nick Harper. This week, US President Donald Trump visited the UK on an unprecedented second state visit, staying with King Charles at Windsor Castle and holding meetings with the UK Prime Minister. Trade, Ukraine and the Middle East were all discussed. FSN's UK correspondent Ollie Barrett followed the 3-day trip and said London touted it as a huge success.
The UK government will be delighted with how the set-piece events at Windsor Castle have unfolded. President Trump seemed to be enjoying himself all the way through. Very warm words from the president about the US-UK relationship at the state banquet as well. The UK government also delighted to see the high-level delegation that President Trump has brought with him to the UK, represented at that state banquet, as well as the President and the First Lady, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent,
After returning to Washington, US President Donald Trump held a phone call with China's leader Xi Jinping on Friday. Trump said it was very productive and that progress was made on a potential TikTok deal that would prevent a ban of the app in the US. The US president said that he and President Xi had agreed to meet in Asia next month. One of the biggest stars of late-night television in the United States was suspended indefinitely this week over comments he made relating to the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel, who hosted the Oscars last year, is the highest-profile casualty of the Trump administration's insistence that employers must penalise anyone who's spoken negatively about Mr. Kirk's killing. FSN Simon Marks reports from Washington.
These are the comments that ended Jimmy Kimmel's career as he mocked President Trump's supporters over the motive for Charlie Kirk's assassination.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
On Wednesday, the Trump-appointed head of the Federal Communications Commission called those comments truly sick, 2 days after the White House told employers they were obliged to fire anyone who said horrible things relating to Charlie Kirk's murder.
The US Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate for the first time this year and signalled 2 more to come. FSN's Kate Fisher followed the meeting in Washington, D.C.
There was only one dissenting push for a 50 basis point reduction by Trump-appointed Governor Stephen Miran. Looking ahead, the Fed board anticipates 2 more quarter percentage point cuts this year and 1 in 2026, a significantly more conservative outlook from the previously estimated 3. Fed Chair Powell described today's cut as risk management rather than a direct move aimed at shoring up a weak economy, emphasising the need to support the labour market.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. The European Commission unveiled its latest set of Russian sanctions this week. It comes as European officials said Russian jets had violated Estonian airspace on Friday. FSN's William Denslow sent this report from Brussels.
In the wake of several reported Russian incursions into European Union airspace, as well as continued large-scale missile attacks on Ukraine, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says further pressure on the Kremlin is required. 118 additional vessels from Russia's so-called Shadow Fleet have been sanctioned. The EU is also imposing further restrictive measures on Russian banks and crypto platforms as the bloc seeks to close financial loopholes. Amid pressure from the Trump administration, the Commission is also proposing to speed up its transition away from Russian liquefied natural gas. Moscow accuses the EU of choosing sanctions over diplomacy. William Denslow, Brussels.
More than 1 million people joined protests in France against the government's budget cuts this week. There were hundreds of arrests as some protesters clashed with police who used tear gas and water cannons to maintain public order. FSN's Ross Cullen was out on the streets of Paris and filed this report.
We haven't seen numbers demonstrating on this scale since the pension reform protests of 2023. Huge rallies staged in every major French city. The demonstrators calling for an end to austerity. They wanted the president, Emmanuel Macron, to resign, and they wanted more taxes imposed on the richest in society. There were clashes. We saw demonstrators clashing with police. Tear gas was used by law enforcement, water cannon, and they also had 24 special armoured vehicles that they haven't used since the Yellow Vests protests in 2019.
And that's the Week in Review. That's Feature Story News. Nick Harper reporting.
Thomas the Tank Engine says he's a little uneasy with his broad autistic following, and a couple has a nest egg of debt to make sure they've got some money to owe down the road. This is the Onion Week in Review. Local video editor James Korf told reporters Wednesday that despite having said goodbye over 10 minutes ago, his friend, Michael Woodward, still remained active on GChat and had shown no signs of leaving.
If it were yellow, it would mean that he hasn't been on the computer for a little while, or if it was red, it would mean he doesn't want to talk, but it's green. I can tell. I can see it right there.
Korf later said that he felt briefly relieved when Woodward's chat logo turned orange, but was once again dejected when it became green within seconds. And in this week's op-ed pages, a high school guidance counselor laments the fact that no one in his entire damn school has been molested. In other news, a bedbug feels bad for an area man, but a bug's gotta eat. A development exec wants to see what, where, and how that would look, live, and play out. And a man at the gym is just watching TV TV. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and that means that you can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie,
Riley,
and Richie Rich.
And we were talking about Hamburger Helper, but for a good reason in the last couple hours, actually, because, well, we had some calls, and that's always good.
I thought we were talking about Hamburger Helper because you're going to make some for us right after the show.
Doesn't take very long.
Doesn't even sound good to me. And seriously, it's like, oh, are you going to make us some? Like, oh, to me, that's like, oh no, this is going to be a lame night tonight of, Hamburger Helper. Like, apparently Richie Rich was like excited for his mom to make him the Hamburger Helper.
Having been an adult for several decades now, I feel like I really let my parents off the hook for how cheap and easy the cooking was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I go, oh man, I really want that like stuff that my mom used to make, obviously, right? Because most people do. And it's like, oh man, this was like the cheapest thing she could throw together. Like, no wonder she did it so frequently.
Oh, one thing my mom made that we were all like, oh, that's awesome, make that again, was cinnamon toast. So it was just a piece of bread, butter on it, and cinnamon and sugar on it, and put into the oven.
Yes, that could be good.
You know what's better than that?
What?
That on a croissant.
Oh, I bet it would be.
Yep. That's what I used to do with the croissants. Not in the oven, though. Just fry it up in the butter and sprinkle cinnamon sugar on top.
That sounds awesome.
That does sound good.
Like
I ate way too many croissants like that.
The croissants, like the Pillsbury dough ones.
Or whatever, the ones you buy in a package at Costco.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yep. I mean, that sounds way better. But
upgrade.
Yeah,
well, there
but
isn't the
that's the
Costco
thing,
here, so out of luck on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure you could buy one
Well, not in
somewhere.
Keene, but there's
like at Hannaford.
they have a Costco in New Hampshire.
I would be shocked
they?
if there
Yeah.
wasn't a. Yeah, it's in Nashua.
Oh.
Where there was that shooting last night. That's so weird. Did you guys
Not
hear about
not at the Costco.
Well, no.
Okay.
Sorry, I did
In
make it sound
Nashua,
like that.
yeah.
But yeah, there was
At a
this-
wedding party.
Yeah, it was a wedding. That's what I heard, or at least like the reception or something.
Yeah.
What's weird is they say that the shooter screamed "Free Palestine" before he did it. It's like, does every shooter have to say "I'm a leftist" right before they do it? Now it's getting faker and faker.
No, otherwise it's just a random shooting on a crazy guy. You can't politicize that.
Yeah, but like maybe some shootings are just going to be random shootings that aren't politicized, right? But no, they all have to be like, and everyone needs to know that I'm a leftist right before they shoot. It's weird.
It is kind of strange that they have to say something before pulling the trigger.
He also said like the kids are safe now. The kids are safe. Free Palestine.
Whoa,
And only offed one dude.
that's really weird. Well, apparently it's because he got stopped. He got stopped by somebody who hit him with a chair.
There you go.
Did you see that?
I didn't see the video.
Oh, no, sorry,
Oh,
there's no video, but
okay.
I meant, did you hear that? Because that's,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That kind of is like a New Hampshire type thing I would expect.
But all
Like-
the other injuries were people like running scared and trampling each other or something.
Yes. Like when it was first being reported, I was telling people because I heard, and it was true, and I wasn't wrong, and the person who told me wasn't wrong. Oh, it was a mass casualty event. And I thought that meant there's so many people dead, we gotta go through the bodies and let you know how. No, that just means that there is an event and we need all the like ambulances around town to show up at once, like because there are many people that could be injured.
And mass
That's-
shootings like 4 or more.
They need to change that name. It should just be like a 4 or more people injured event. Like not a mass casualty event. 1 person died.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I was like accidentally scaring people. I was like,
I'm surprised
apparently-
he only got hit by a chair.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
In New Hampshire, but
Yeah.
maybe a lot of people don't think like, let me bring a gun to my wedding, you know?
Well, we have mutual acquaintances that like were armed at their wedding, and that was cool.
People like us would, but
Oh yeah, people like us are going to carry guns at their wedding or their
I got to
friend's
make sure I'm
wedding.
not printing in my tuxedo,
what's printing?
where you can see the gun through the fabric.
Oh, and I've heard that one before.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I just got my first gun that's like my own gun, and I got a Sig Sauer. Wait, right?
Yep.
Yes. P365.
So not the explodey one.
Yeah, not the P360 that apparently has a function called auto fire. It's going
a
off by
bug,
itself.
not a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are saying that one's going off by itself, so that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So
and the problem is Sig Sauer has denied it so vehemently,
Whoa.
right, that they won't take responsibility, even though it's happened multiple times to multiple people. Like there's a malfunction with the gun.
That's
and
scary.
they keep doubling down on it's not the gun is safe, and then another one drops or goes off in the holster. It's like, this is not supposed to happen, 6 hour. So
That's really scary.
That
I
is
didn't know
really
that.
scary, yeah.
I didn't know that they were denying it. I figured they were like, oh, let's recall
No.
this thing. Wow, that's really bad. Yeah, that's
they get hammered in the 2A community quite often when another incident happens.
And when did this start? Is this like a recent thing?
I don't remember the first one, but I think it's been a known issue for me at least 2 or 3 years now, where it's not, it doesn't happen daily, right? But when it does, it's always like the same model, the same similar situation. Like there's something wrong with the drop safety, or like, again, it just goes off while it's in the holster. Not supposed to do that. The striker fires when it's not supposed to, and they won't fix it.
And that is only the P360.
I think it's the P320, but double check. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it's not the 365, so you should be okay.
Either way, it's only one type.
It's one model
that keeps happening with.
Yeah,
Okay. That's really
I
good
think
to
it's the one that they got like the military contract for.
know.
Right, so there's a whole bunch of like military service personnel carrying around this dangerous weapon, like that will go off while holstered.
That's so creepy.
And I don't know if they lost the contract or.
People are always like, say, whenever I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to carry once I start doing that. Like, I'm nowhere near that. Like, I need to practice a lot more, but I don't know how I'm going to carry yet. And people are always like, oh, you're an old lady. You should get that one that's like a bra and goes in between like your breasts. And I'm like, that's a terrifying idea. Like, even if it wasn't like that it was going to explode by itself or, go off by itself, just the idea you like grab it and accidentally hit, I don't know, like that's just terrifying. It looks like, oh, let me just shoot myself right through the middle and die, cut myself in half.
So much like the earlier call with Skeeter, what I would suggest you do is get dummy rounds and like whatever holster you're planning on using, or a few different ones, right? And just practice with the dummy rounds, and then whatever magazine you want.
What's a dummy round like? Just so it's that
looks
heavy?
like it looks like a bullet, but it's not. So if you pull the trigger, it just hits this plastic piece, and nothing happens.
Okay.
So I've got, like me personally, I had the standard magazine, and then I bought like cheaper third-party magazines for practice, so I could keep them separate. And the third-party magazines, right, I had filled with like dummy rounds. So I knew like I got the not the right magazine, not the right rounds, always function check and clear it before you do it. And then you just load up the dummy rounds and you can, practice all day.
But why would you need to load them up? What would be the help? Like, why would you rather do that than just have it empty?
Because the pin wants to hit something. I mean, you could do it empty. That's fine. But the dummy rounds, then you can rack it and the dummy round flies out and you can fire again. I've also got, I was training to be an instructor, so I've also got laser pistols, right, and a laser target that functions the same way as my normal gun.
Nice.
So easier to practice with that as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot my gun at least like weekly, something like that. And I don't know how I'm gonna carry it eventually. Like I was pretty set on, I'll just get like one of those bags. And my friend was like, oh, one thing you have to keep in mind is like you can never like set it down. I was like, oh, that's so obvious, but I hadn't thought of that yet. And it's just like, oh, maybe there's like a lot more limitations to each one. I don't know. And like I don't ever wear clothes that's like, oh, let me put on my blue jeans and my belt. Like
well, now you're gonna start.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to. So I want to get more creative in that, but I'm definitely not going to put it in the bra one. That creeps me out. I don't care if there are people who are like, oh, I swear by this. Like, no, I don't really want to point it right at my middle so I can,
Belly band also
die.
works if you wear loose-fitting shirts.
Interesting. Yeah, I think all that's really exciting, and we live in New Hampshire, so constitutional carry. If you're wondering, we don't have to worry about all this BS about oh, if I end up not liking the gun and I want to sell it, well, I can just sell it to my friend or something.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep, and
if you're willing to do that for a friend, I have a list.
yeah, I don't know if I necessarily am not gonna like my gun. So far, I've shot it once, shot it more, pulled the trigger more than once, but
no, I get it.
Only shot it once yesterday.
I'm just saying, if you happen to acquire the guns on my list and you don't want them anymore after you've purchased them, I'd buy them from you.
Okay. As long as you whisper, they can't hear you on the air.
Exactly.
It's not illegal.
Yeah.
At least not in New Hampshire.
That's what I'm saying. Every firearm that I've acquired since moving to New Hampshire, I've acquired from private parties, and I filled out zero government paperwork. Mm-hmm. And I intend to keep it that way.
There were people that were telling me, do not go to a gun store and just buy a gun for so many years that they were just, basically were advising me into not doing anything. So, that's why I was just eventually no, I want a gun, and I'm just going to go to a gun store.
Yeah,
I didn't want to wait around for the perfect gun to sit around, and, this gun I got is the one that Matt has been telling me, is the gun I really should get for years.
Okay.
And, I would have to wait around for it to show up, and instead of buying a brand new one that's just right there, and
yep.
I don't know.
It's definitely more convenient to go to a gun store.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I'm trying to be principled about this. And at one point in time, I did go to a gun store, right? I went, this is going to be too difficult to get. I'm just going to go. Yeah.
Oh.
And I went to the gun store to make the purchase, and they refused to sell to me because I don't have a New Hampshire's driver's license.
Oh.
And they wouldn't take my passport, even though the law says passports are fine.
Weird.
If you have corroborating documents, a bill from the electric company or whatever. And they just flat out said no. I'm like, all right.
It was just that store?
Yeah.
That sucks.
But they had the one that I wanted, quote unquote, but needed as an instructor. Mm-hmm. As an instructor, I needed, there's a list of guns that you have to be able to display and let students, hold and touch and see or whatever. And so I don't want a revolver, but I have one.
Oh.
That I ended up buying privately from, someone from a private seller.
Well, guns are something that if you want to get into that, you better actually have a good amount of attention span and dedication and motivation to get into a new hobby and stick to it, but also know what you're doing and pay attention.
Or just be an 8-year-old and have someone hand you an Uzi, because that happens every day.
Yeah, it's a huge problem we have to deal with
huge
in
problem.
society.
Huge in New Hampshire, especially.
But according to this article, studyfinds.org, 8 seconds in dropping, why short attention spans may be more about motivation. And this one, I'm really interested to find out about this because
I'm surprised the attention span's only 8 seconds.
That is really small, yes, but also I'm not that surprised. But we do have a caller in line, so before we get into this...
Another tease by Bonnie.
I know, I was just this is just seeming like I have a short attention span, I just changed the subject. But we have David from... you're from New Hampshire, but you're in... Dave Ridley, you're in Colorado. I almost called you David from New Mexico for some reason, but...
Bonnie misses him.
Dave Ridley in Colorado. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
We have talked, I think, a time or two about Kang Lou's crusade against Massachusetts gun laws.
Yes.
So I think he's been a guest on your show or a co-host, and he also calls in sometimes.
Yes.
I think he'd be considered a free stater. I don't know if he's officially a free stater.
He is now.
Checked all the boxes. That's great. And that in turn, his fight against their gun laws from New Hampshire led to. Or at least it was I believe it was part of the process of getting the New Hampshire government to start taking action against Massachusetts gun laws, which started happening about a year ago. The Attorney General weighed in and filed I guess it was a brief or something like that, or an amicus curiae, whatever, at a court in Massachusetts. I think it would have been called the Supreme Judicial Court. So that was progress in a sense, although I'm not sure the government is the best source for fixing our government problems. At least it's something happening. But now something more is happening. And again, I don't know exactly if it was New Hampshire getting involved that triggered this, but apparently another 24 states have joined New Hampshire in filing a brief in Massachusetts against Massachusetts gun laws.
Oh, interesting. How many other states? Sorry.
It's 25 total.
Interesting. Did they join?
They're almost.
Kang Lou's specific case, or
he also recently had a victory back in June. I found the email that he sends out. I don't exactly know the details, but whatever he was being charged for, he was acquitted or dismissed on all charges.
Nice.
Commonwealth versus Kang Lou.
He did tell us that he got his gun back from that situation.
There you go. Yeah.
That's nice.
This current situation focuses more on Philip Marquis's case, or Philip Marquis, I don't know how I pronounce his name. This is a New Hampshire resident, according to one of the mainstream press articles, New Hampshire resident who got into an accident on I-4 and I-5 in Lowell in 2022. And I guess they found a pistol, or he told them he had a pistol or something in the vehicle. And he was arrested.
Yep.
I hadn't heard that one.
I assume he was arrested. I mean, it's considered a big deal. You know, they really take guns seriously down there in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
that's why I try to stay out of Massachusetts, right? You can up in this area, you can, if you're like an adult of age, you can pretty much get away with going, from Vermont all the way into Maine without having any issues, like no paperwork required type of thing. And then you like cross the border into Massachusetts, and to get an out-of-state permit from Massachusetts is like $100 fee, and you got to go down there every year to renew the fee, the license, and take the questionnaire and their test. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yep,
I'll just not go to Massachusetts.
Sounds terrifying. Yeah.
I used to have their license when I used to work in Massachusetts back in the 2005 era. But I kept it for 1 year, and they were just like, oh man, I have to do this again. I just did this 12 months ago.
Yeah.
So I never got around to renewing it. And so I just, tried to stay out of Massachusetts. But these 25 states are trying to take this to the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Nice. And what they're trying to get is reciprocity, where you're allowed to carry constitutionally throughout whatever state you happen to be in.
Well, I'm vague on exactly which laws they're making a big deal out of. My guess is they're mostly focused on this whole business of not being able to even have a firearm in your trunk.
Right. Well, generally, like I forget the acronym, FOPA. Like the federal law allows you to transport your firearm in a certain manner, regardless of what state you're going through. And it's very, very specific, and certain states ignore it, but like at their peril. So if you're traveling through New York or through Massachusetts or whatever, like you have to look up the FOPA guidelines for how to transport your firearm through the state. And then if you get pulled over, it's also important, like don't answer questions, but if they find it, right, you have to explain to them that, hey, you're following FOPA guidelines and they ought to get familiar with the law, and let you go about your business at peace, because you're passing through, you're not conducting any business in the state. Like that would be how to transport through a state.
Like remember when those Moor people, they were calling themselves Moors, like from Morocco.
Okay.
They traveled through Massachusetts and they got arrested. It was really crazy circumstances where they were like not giving them their court and stuff like that. I remember Ian and I covered it, and I don't remember all the details, but they basically like got out of their car to check a flat tire with their guns like all put together and on their backs. So obviously they got arrested. Like I'm not saying they deserve to get arrested, but they weren't really being careful at all.
Yeah,
but
and that's the thing. Don't make it obvious.
Yeah, they believed that it was fine because they were traveling to Maine. That's what they thought the case was, but that doesn't sound
And when they
right.
got to Maine, they would have been fine, right? But like when you go through bad gun law states, right, it's very, you can do what you want and you can sue them and try to take it to the Supreme Court and waste a decade of your life, right? Or you can follow the federal rules and just be at peace about your day.
Yeah, it probably was. I have no idea what happened to those people. I've never went back and checked, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasted a decade of their lives. Anything else for us, Ridley?
Well, it's good that they did that. And the more people, if thousands of people did what the Moors had done, then it would just overwhelm Massachusetts gun laws, and they
probably would. Yeah,
but that's activism, right?
Most people don't want to do activism.
That's purposeful activism. If you're just trying to get through Massachusetts to get to your destination in Maine, right? Like, who cares what the Massachusetts law is? I just want to get to Maine, right? Like, I don't want to do activism in Massachusetts. I just want to go to Maine.
Yeah, when it comes to resistance against the government in the United States, we don't get enough of it, and as beggars, we cannot be choosers.
Right. But again, right, like Kang Lu, purposeful activism, right? Like, he's, he has a certain belief system. He believes the law is in his favor, and however he got into that situation, he pursued it through, the legal channels as activism, and came out with a victory. I don't know how important the victory was, and was able to get his firearm returned to him. So,
yep,
double win.
I just looked up the Moors since that was like a big thing. Ian and other Free Talk Live hosts covered at the time in 2021. It was July 3rd, 2021. 11 of them were arrested, but I don't know what happened to the other 9. But 2 men in 2024 who claim to be a part of the Rise of the Moors group have been found guilty for their roles in the 2021 standoff, they called it, in 2021 I-95 in Massachusetts. Jamal Latimer was found guilty of unlawful possession of a large-capacity weapon, unlawful possession of large-capacity feeding device, unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of a shotgun or rifle. What, all of these?
Well, I just remember, like, the large capacity, the capacity limit in Massachusetts is 10.
Mm-hmm.
So anything bigger than a 10-round magazine is a large capacity.
It's just so retarded.
Improper storage of a rifle or shotgun near a minor. Oh, I didn't know a minor was involved.
8-year-old with an Uzi.
Use or wearing body armor during a felony, and unlawful possession of ammunition. And then Stephen Anthony Perez was found guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm and use or wearing of body armor during a felony. That was the
felony was all the other gun stuff they had. So they were wearing body armor because it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
Right. And then they got caught in the commission of a felony, which was just having the guns in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever heard of it being illegal in any circumstance to wear body armor. It's like, that just sounds like the government wants you dead when they decide that it's illegal for you to wear body armor.
Yeah, because when they come to arrest you and shoot you in the commission of a felony, they want the bullet to work.
Yeah, that's
exactly
insane.
You're not allowed to be safe. Only we get body armor in a standoff.
Only we get to wear the bulletproof vest. You gotta die when we shoot you.
Yep.
One of the TV stations in Massachusetts did a story about the fact that a round of ammunition had been found lying in the woods.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Thank you for the call, Dave Ridley. You can go to RidleyReport.com for more Ridley and more Free Talk Live coming up. 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. The UK is expected to imminently announce the recognition of the state of Palestine. The move is set to provoke harsh criticism from Israel. On Thursday, during his state visit, the US president said the recognition of Palestinian statehood was one of the few areas where he and the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer disagreed. Ollie Barrett reports from London.
The UK government is preparing to recognise the Palestinian state ahead of a United Nations conference on Monday, at which it will make a formal declaration on the issue. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's administration said in July it would move towards recognition if Israel didn't meet a series of conditions such as a ceasefire, resumption of humanitarian aid in Gaza, and no further annexation in the West Bank. Critics in the UK say the decision breaches international norms, that a state should be recognised only if it has a functioning government, defined borders and a stable population. The US also opposes the move, with President Trump saying it will reward Hamas. Keir Starmer says Hamas is a terrorist organisation, must be disarmed and can play no part in any future Palestinian government. Ollie Barrett, London.
The European Commission is expected to unveil its latest round of sanctions targeting Russia on Friday. The EU is considering restrictions on several firms in India and China for handling Russian oil, and is also aiming to use frozen Russian central bank assets to support Ukraine. Here's William Denslow in Brussels.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said this 19th sanctions package would target Russia's shadow fleet, banks and crypto sector. Von der Leyen has also said the bloc will seek to explore how to phase out the use of Russian fossil fuels faster. That's a key call from US President Trump, who's also asking Ukraine's allies to impose tariffs on China and India in a bid to pressure them into tightening the screw on Moscow. The EU's new sanctions measure could reportedly sanction firms in India and China that assist with Russia's oil trade. William Denslow, Brussels.
An Eritrean man has been flown to France from the United Kingdom under the joint Paris-London deal to return illegal immigrants known as One In, One Out. A last-minute British court bid to delay the departure failed. On Thursday, an Indian national became the first person to be sent to France in a case that did not involve a legal challenge. Earlier this year, the two countries agreed to the deal intended to deter people from turning to smugglers to cross the English Channel. The accord sees France take in people who cross the Channel to the UK illegally. Britain agreed to allow people to stay if they satisfy legal and security protocols and have not previously tried to cross to British shores in small boats. Hours after the first removal under the agreement, President Trump urged the British Prime Minister to involve the military in dealing with immigration issues. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and that means that you can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to bring up whatever's on your mind. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley.
And Richie Rich.
And in the last segment, we were talking all about gun rights, and I'm glad you brought up the thing about Bear Arms having won something recently with his cases against the Massachusetts government, because I didn't know any of the details, but I had just learned that he won something and he got his gun back. It's like he got his gun back the day after I got my gun, and I also brought him with me.
Oh, nice.
Whenever I got my gun.
That's recent then.
Yeah, so he was like, I'm going to buy a gun in celebration of getting my gun back.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah. So.
See, if he was a New Hampshire resident, he could just find a private seller.
Oh, I think he might be a resident now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just don't know if he would use that word because,
Yeah.
He's one of these sovereign peoples.
It's important to use if you're going to go buy a firearm privately, because you can't go selling it to people out of state.
I
You
just
can't
don't know
buy it from someone else who lives in another state.
I could see it being a bad word. I could see it being a fine word. He might be like, no, I consider myself a resident, but not a citizen.
It's got
one
a
of
legal.
those.
It's a legal connotation.
Mm-hmm. I know that he's calling his house his deer stand because building's a bad word. I don't know
It's
if
a
house is a bad
domicile.
word. Yeah, I don't know. That could be a bad word for all I know. The government legally makes it a bad word. Is
He
what I
doesn't
mean.
call it his place.
Oh yeah. I was like, I didn't know place is a bad word.
Yeah.
Legally is fake term.
I don't know.
You gotta go deep into the government dictionary.
Mm-hmm. And have like an amazing memory like that. It's like that I'm
Like,
not interested.
no, I'm not driving my car.
Yep.
I'm traveling in my automobile.
Wait, car is the bad one
I
and
don't know.
automobiles?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I don't know either.
I'm not a sovereign citizen.
I kind of think vehicle's the bad one.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be totally wrong about that.
This is my conveyance, officer. It's not made for commercial use.
But it's kind of funny. I was just like, oh, but I don't have the memory and like basically attention span for that, because we were just about to get into this article about from studyfinds.org.
Great site.
Yeah.
Reputable news source.
Exactly. Never heard of it before.
Really?
No,
You
not
must
this
have.
specific
Okay.
one. Maybe I've read it on there, possibly, like just if somebody
Okay.
brought it in, but
I use it a lot. It's one of those sites that's like in my regular rotation, and they're good because they summarize, but they also link to the actual study. If you want to go read all the educational nonsense
so
that
not
comes
too
with
bad
it.
then. And they
Yeah.
they even tell you like it's like this article is by The Conversation, research led by like the
Right.
people, blah blah blah, their names, University of Cambridge. So 8 seconds and dropping. Why short attention spans may be more about motivation. And this one kind of interests me because like I personally am like a person that like procrastinates and feels like a lot of times I'm like sitting around like, what's my motivation to do the things I need to do? And then I just kind of freaking go force myself to do them.
Yes, that's always hard for me too.
I don't know how accurate it is, but I use it because I think it works. Motivation is external stimuli, and inspiration is internal stimuli. So if you were inspired to do something, then you don't need to be motivated to do it, because you'll just do it because you want to for you, not for some external force.
Unfortunately, I feel like day to day, the only things I get inspired to do are like things that are like fun and pointless, or things that are like eating.
Yeah, that's fine.
No,
but that's
sometimes I
what-
gotta do more than that.
Well, that's why most people don't like going to their jobs, right? Because they require motivation to get up and go do something. But if you're doing something fun that you like doing, then it's like, oh yes, this is what I woke up to do today.
My motivation for all boring, hard things that like I just need to do is usually negative motivation. Like I don't want Ian to be mad at me, so I'm gonna go do this now.
There you go.
It's a motivation though.
Carrots and sticks.
Yeah. So in a nutshell,
Has Ian ever been mad at you though?
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe he's been somewhat
Guaranteed.
mad at me, but not.
Guaranteed.
He's
He
never
just hasn't
yelled at me.
expressed it.
I'm always like, oh, Ian's gonna yell at me if, and then somebody's like, no, he wouldn't, and I'm like, okay, I don't actually mean he's gonna yell at me. He would never yell at me. But,
Give her a stern look.
or just be disappointed or something.
I'm not mad, Bonnie. I'm
Yeah.
just disappointed.
Just disappointed is worse. But Microsoft once reported that attention spans had dropped from 12 seconds to 8. Well, how? Wait, what? Like, when were they 12? And I would have thought 8 is like, oh, the society's ending. This like really bad. But apparently they used to only be 12. So
I remember, like, I don't know how I remember this, but in high school, I think it was like the physics teacher said something like humans can only focus on a single task for 8 minutes. So like if you're doing homework or whatever, like do 8 minutes of homework, then get up and go do something else and then come back to it. Otherwise you start to daydream or drift or, lose your focus and concentration. So like 8 minutes was the threshold for, any sort of work.
I know that there was a movement in public school where people started having brain breaks because of like exactly that. I don't know that everyone agrees to the 8-minute thing. Like I hadn't heard that specifically before, but that teachers were having brain breaks where kids were allowed to like color or read or something, just do something else and then get back to their classes.
Yeah.
And there were actually parents that were like, what is this hippie crap? And it's like,
because you can't focus for that long.
I'm actually not. I feel like that's like the worst kind of parent. Like a parent that will export their kids' schooling to the government and then be like, "Oh, brain breaks. That's hippie crap." Like what?
Back in my day, the teacher just hit me with a ruler.
Yeah, that's awful. I feel like the brain breaks thing makes a lot of sense because it's just like if you force a kid, especially like a kid that's likely to get called an ADHD kid that like has energy, to like focus for hours and hours and hours, and they don't want to be doing that in the first place, like that's a recipe for a disaster.
Also why the inspiration is important, because even those kids can focus if they're doing something of interest to them.
Yeah.
They'll be great at it, but they get forced into schools where like I don't care about any of this.
Yep.
And then they get called, ADD or ADHD because like I don't want to focus on your nonsense and your BS.
Yep.
But give me a task I like
I think back about like the bad kids when I was in elementary school, specifically, like not middle or high school. And I'm like, I wonder if they're just totally normal, like fun to be around, totally normal people today. Because when I think about this one kid named Diego in my 3rd grade class, he was so bad. I was just like, is he like he could be like a caveman or something. But I could totally see him being like a normal adult, because that it doesn't make sense to be forced. Like, he was actually in an unnatural environment.
Yeah.
I mean, he could also
if he's got ADHD or like autism, he's probably got like a really cool train collection that he can name all the models of and all the insides and outsides of it.
Yep, and it's like really not that big of a, like, it's not a stain against him when I look back and think that he didn't want to be in that situation. Right. In fact, I heard that school is set up in a way that is way better for female brain type, like learning types.
Okay.
And that would make sense to me, because all through like elementary and middle school mostly, it seemed like
boys were acting out.
The boys were more acting out, and they were not doing as well in school, and the girls were always the smartest. And I always just thought, oh, girls are just smarter than boys. But I really think it's just like that type of learning like made sense to me, was fine for me. I could be quiet when I needed to be quiet and then talk when I needed when we were allowed to talk, but that was like impossible for the little boys, and I was always getting in trouble when, they were being bad, and that was annoying.
Because we're rambunctious and we want to be loud and we want to run around and play and do boy stuff.
Exactly.
They go like, sit down.
Yep.
Compute these numbers. Like, no.
And there was not brain breaks, at least when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's kind of a dumb name. I could see why people would be like, what is this hippie?
Read out loud. Like, no.
Yeah.
I want to go to recess. When's PE?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I want to go play on the playground.
Yes.
I want to play with rocket ships.
Then you get on the playground, like you get together as a group, you make your own rules of whatever game you're playing. Yep. Everyone agrees to the rules.
You can focus on it. Yeah.
Focus on it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm really confused about this first sentence where it says, "Oh, attention spans dropped from 12 to 8 seconds." But it's like, we're kids in like a old country schoolhouse in like the 1930s on a prairie. I'm pretty sure they had higher than 12-second attention spans. You know what I mean? Like, kids working on farms and stuff. So what are we talking about, like 5 years ago to today or something? But anyways, experts say the story is far more complex. Attention isn't one thing. There are multiple forms, including scanning attention, like a goalkeeper surveying the field, sustained attention, like listening to a lecture, divided attention, and alternating attention. Soccer research shows scanning for about 10 seconds gives players an edge, while lectures suggest memory peaks at 15 to 30 minutes, not the first few minutes. Wait, what? Motivation is a critical driver. People with ADHD may struggle in class, but can focus on games for hours because they're more engaging. That's what we just talked out.
Yes.
Like, we all know this, literally. It's very apparent.
Seems normal and natural.
Mm-hmm. Instead of worrying about, it's like the people with ADHD, but that seems normal and natural. And honestly, it usually was boys.
Yeah.
I only knew one girl.
Like, I generally reject it as a concept for kids, because it's always applied in a situation where it's like you said, it's an artificial construct, right? They're not supposed to be in school.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be sitting still with a nose in a book. Like, you put them in there and then they act out and you call it ADHD, but they're normal. Right?
Yep.
You've caused this by putting them in this artificial environment.
It actually kind of makes me sad when I think back, too, because it's like those kids got also labeled bad when it's like if they were allowed to be at home with their moms or whoever takes care of them and just like lead their own learning for the day, they probably weren't bad kids at all. It actually legitimately is sad. Yeah, it makes me sad to think of somebody being labeled a bad person because they start to believe that about themselves. So instead of worrying about shrinking attention spans, the key may be designing tasks that spark motivation, interest, and emotional investment.
You don't say. Give them stuff they like to do and they don't act out anymore?
Yep. And that's basically what Montessori schools have shown. It's really sad to me that people outsource educating their kids, or their kids just like 8 hours of their day to the government. It's crazy.
Yeah. And even the Montessori schools, they'll let, when they first integrate in there, they'll let them play games for days on end. And then eventually that gets boring because everyone else around you's like doing work and learning stuff. And you're like, oh man, I better catch up. And then the kids like migrate away from the games and go do actual learning for a brief period of time, but can always migrate back. Right?
they get bored or want to switch
Whatever
into
it
a
is.
different
Yeah,
thing.
do something else.
Yep. So they say we are regularly bombarded with information about a steep drop in attention spans. Based on its own data in 2015, Microsoft reported that the average attention span had dropped from about 12 seconds for millennials to 8 seconds for Gen Z. Okay, so I'm not going to take any more crap from millennials talking about how Gen Z is like so short attention span when it only dropped, 4 points or 4 seconds?
Well, yeah, but it's like a 33% drop. That's massive.
I have no idea. I have no idea how to even test mine, so.
It's a huge percentage.
I guess that could officially dictate if I was Gen Z or millennial. I'll just go get my attention span tested, and we'll see if it's 12 or 8. It's gotta be one or the other.
So how do we increase our attention span other than find things we like to do? Is that the only thing?
Start there.
They do ask here, how does attention really work and how can we improve it? Attention is crucial. Who hasn't experienced getting distracted in the middle of a conversation and suddenly forgot what they were saying? Yes, that happens to me all the time.
Or just walked away from someone in the middle of the conversation because they bore you.
That's called bad social skills too. Just walk away from someone. I don't know. Maybe if the other person is the one with bad social skills, if they're boring you and not noticing and not changing the subject. So, however, what is sometimes missed is that there are many forms of attention and not all of them are necessarily diminishing. So the soccer rule is more closely related to a type of attention called visual scanning. For a goalkeeper, this can be scanning the field to work out who to pass the ball to. There are many studies on visual scanning in football, though, not so much on goalkeepers. Okay, why are you telling me this? One paper studied scanning and performance in English Premier League football players. They found using a 10-second scan time gave players a small but positive performance advantage. Other studies have shown that within elite football players, the best players spend more time scanning than others unless there's an opponent in close proximity, which makes sense because you're not going to be standing there scanning if you need to be watching what that person right there is doing. Okay, I thought it was going to tell us how to, improve our attention. Scanning is a form of attention that allows the footballer to take advantage of a time-limited opportunity where decisions of who to pass to or where to run to on the field have to be made very rapidly. This is a type of hot cognition, a social and emotional way of thinking, a bit like a gut instinct. It's very different to the cold or rational cognition involved in the decision-making that footballers do with their managers and coaches off the field, where videos of plays are analyzed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like driving. You're not sitting there being like, should I press my brake? Like your body just does it, basically.
And if you're driving, if you're smart, you're scanning well ahead of the car in front of you, right, to see of any obstructions or anything upcoming, right? So you can be aware of and maneuver accordingly or prepare for it.
Yep. So in such situations, like, I guess they're saying in a hot cognition situation, we are more likely to use sustained attention, which is paying attention to something for a sustained period of time. This ultimately requires mental concentration. Similarly, there are other forms of attention, for example, divided attention or alternating attention, which involve shifting attention between different things over a sustained period of time. These are typically also used for more cold decisions. Different parts of the brain are at work when we use different kinds of attention. Hot decisions involve a brain network that includes the ventromedial prefrontal or orbitofrontal cortex, which supports emotional regulation and decision making. Cold decisions, on the other hand, involve a different neural network that includes the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, supporting executive functions such as controlling or inhibitions or short-term memory.
All right.
Such as controlling. What's that even supposed to mean? Controlling your arms and stuff? I don't know.
I think it's like controlling your impulses.
Okay.
That's what I would guess.
During the cold decisions. All right.
Long-term memory, long-term decision-making or cold decision-making is like writing out your shopping list. And the hot decision like, ooh, do I really need that Snicker bar at the checkout?
That's a good point. Another time we make hot, rapid decisions is with first impressions. Again, the attention used is a type of immediate gut instinct. That makes sense. Unsurprisingly, therefore, the dorsomedial prefrontal cortex is an important brain region associated with first impressions. When we first see or meet somebody for the first time, we implicitly form an impression of their attractiveness and possibly other traits as well.
Oh, she's wearing that dog fur jacket.
Oh my god. That's so weird. I don't like the, like, if I didn't have that specific dog, I don't think people would think it looks like a dog fur jacket, but whatever. So we may adjust that initial immediate impression later using more sustained or divided types of attention as we learn more about the person. A great example of this is given by...
She's cute, but actually hanging out for a week, she's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's that whole meme that's like, when she's a 10, but blah,
Yes.
blah, blah. Like, you know, when she's a 10, but she doesn't listen to Free Talk Live, then she's a 0.
Yep.
So...
She's a 10, but she's way into true crimes podcasts.
Oh my gosh. Are you saying that because of me saying the Gypsy Rose thing?
No.
Oh, because the thing is, like, I don't want to
There's
get
just
into...
way too many chicks into true crimes podcasts.
That is true. And the thing is, like, just because I'm into the Gypsy Rose thing, I'm like actively trying not to get into like true crime in general.
Okay.
It's like this specific case is interesting, and I think that there's a possibility of kind of bringing her back to justice.
All right.
It's possible that it might happen in a way. But
It's a slippery slope.
But she is bad.
They're going to mention another case on one of those podcasts. You're like, ooh, that sounds interesting too.
Yeah, I know. And actually, something it somewhat happened. And today I was thinking to myself, like reflecting, and I'm like, I wish I didn't have that information in my head. I'm not even going to repeat it. It's horrible. Like it was about a murder. And I'm just like, I wish I didn't have that information in my head now. So like, I'm going to very like purposefully avoid getting any deeper into any others, because like the thing is, I already knew all the details about the Gypsy Rose thing, but what is really crazy about it is like I knew like all the details, like many of the details, and just one person said something and I'm like, I guess I could see the whole entire case completely different, like literally on its head backwards with this new perspective, even with all the same details. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I really feel like that girl's lawyer like gave her a crazy sweet deal just using like tricking people and literally like propaganda pieces. Like they actually put out like propaganda like TV shows about her situation. Yeah, and I just
Well, the better attorney tells the better story.
Mhm.
Right?
Oh my
like
god.
that's what it comes down to.
Scary. Yes.
Can you put together a story that makes the most sense for the jury?
And they're actually, in this case, they didn't even have to get to a jury for her side because she took a plea deal, but it was like a sweet plea deal because of the story he was able to just give the judge, which doesn't happen that often, you know? Like, usually the judge is like, no, I'm looking at the facts, and the jury is the one that you'd have to get to the jury to give them a stupid story. Anyways. I felt like I thought you're talking about me still. You're like, dog fur jacket.
Nope.
True crime.
Bonnie fits the stereotype.
Yeah, I guess so. I used to just like sit there and watch true crime all day for whatever reason. It got interesting to me, but I really scared myself, so I like stopped, and my life got better legitimately. Like if you live a very anxious life where you're like scared every time you walk out the front door, and you also watch true crime, like I definitely invite you to join me in not consuming that stuff.
And go buy a gun immediately.
Yeah, I got pepper spray at the time because I lived in San Antonio, and I don't even know what the rules were there, but they didn't have, now they have constitutional carry, but they didn't at the time.
Right.
And I just knew it was going to be complicated, and also money, you know?
Yeah.
But
guns are not cheap, generally.
Not cheap. But so I got pepper spray, and I stopped watching that stuff, and I've returned to this like state where like I would go delivery in these like giant, not exactly well lit, not exactly like nice apartment complexes like at night in San Antonio, and I really didn't feel unsafe except when I was watching true crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like keeping my wits about myself, walking directly where I'm going, paying like, you know, being just very like focused on where I'm going and stuff
situational
like
awareness. Get
Mhm.
off your phone.
Yep, and like keys in my hand kind of makes me feel a little better at least.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you're gonna throw a scratch at somebody's face, stab them in the eye.
But I feel like just like even just being aware enough first, it's like if you see somebody walking, you can like sit in your car for a few more seconds and let them go in, then you're by yourself, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. In general, I just most people I run
have
into
like on their phone, they got their earbuds in so they can't hear what's going on around them.
terrifying.
Could
yeah.
be.
there are people that always talk about like, oh, I love going on walks with my, like, listening to music. I'm like, how do you go on a walk listening to music? Like, I am not scared of my neighborhood I live in today. And I still wouldn't wear headphones. Like, at the very least, like, I want to hear if, like, a dog is running out of its gate and towards me and my dog, you know? Like, that's so dumb. I can't even
agree.
imagine.
I wouldn't want to listen to music while walking either. That just sounds scary.
Yeah, sounds dumb. It's like,
yeah, it's generally dumb, but everyone does it.
Lots of people
right?
do.
Because like you're going for a walk, you need to distract yourself with something, or it's a good time to listen to an audiobook or a podcast because you're not doing anything else with that time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it adds to your danger level by nature. There's no way around it.
Honestly, I feel like it is a thing to do with my time, you know? Like, just going on the walk is the thing to do with my time. Like, driving's a little different. It's like, oh, I gotta be sitting in this pod for a while to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So I always listen to.
But even drivers, right? When you're going to a new place, you gotta really focus on where you're going. Like, you turn the music down, helps you see better. Everyone knows this.
Interesting.
It helps you see better. That's really strange.
Yep.
Every once in a while, there's a bad driver going past you, and then you notice that their blinker's been on for a long time. And the only reason I can think why your blinker would get left on is if you're listening to music really loud, because that's happened to me before.
I wondered that too, and it's only happened to me once, like when I had my learner's permit, and my dad called me out on it. It's like, see, happens to a lot of people.
Like leaving your blinker on, but with music playing or no? Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever just left my blinker on in silence because it's so noisy.
It just becomes a part of the atmosphere.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yep.
And you're focusing on something else, right? You don't hear the blinker.
Yep. I feel like this article really didn't quickly get us any, advice on how to strengthen or lengthen our attention span, Riley. Like you asked, it wasn't getting there quick enough for me.
Okay.
But this thing
you
does
lost your
say
attention, huh?
motivation improves
8 seconds. Gen
attention. Well, yeah. Basically, I feel like what we talked about before we got into the article basically covered it. Literally, that motivation improves attention. And
makes sense. You're not motivated enough to learn something or focus on something, you're not going to focus on it.
Yep. And there's plenty of ways to create motivation and inspiration, but we're out of time for tonight. freetalklive.com for more. Thanks for listening. Peace.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.